And with that, hello everyone. Yeah, sorry, I played the outro first. Duh. Okay, so let me say a big hello and thank you to Ghost. Hello, Vanilla Eric. Hello to you. Then we've got Monster. Hello, Spreckens. Hello, Lilitan. Nice to see you. Tyragoth. Hello to you. Avenger. Hello, Voyager. Moin. And Yoda, hello to you as well. On YouTube, Fishcop, Ali, Svenja, hello, and Lorne, hello to you. And Easy, good evening to you as well. Yeah, so here we are in X-Plane 12, and as promised, we are going to do a shared flight. And with none less than our good old friend SimCaesar, who's just fetching his checklist. Yeah, there he is. Okay, so he's back. So before we go on, just make sure that you are audible loud enough. So, hello, SimCaesar. How are you?
Hello, Black Box. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Doing well. Thank you very much. So, guys, as always, let me know if SimCaesar comes over too quiet or too loud so that we can adjust the volumes, but it should be good. So, SimCaesar has his own Twitch channel, has been streaming for a very long time. He's a good friend of mine. I've met him in real life, a wonderful person, and he also streams flight simming. And GA aircraft, jets, and yeah, he's also a big fan of the shared flight. So it's been a while. We've already done a shared flight, right? On that was on the 737, I think.
Now that's
that was our last one. I think we've done 2 or 3 over the years, but it's been a while.
Yeah. So I asked Caesar what he wants to fly, and he actually said to me Airbus, and I was like, oh wow, okay, so like I was like, okay, cool. I mean, because the Toliss is actually one of those aircraft that work really, really well here in X-Plane with the shared flight. Yeah.
And let me just say, it's not too late to back out. You know, nobody would fault you for backing out from flying an Airbus with me. So
no, all good.
You still have time.
No, all good. And we talked prior to the stream about this. It's about one possible use of the shared flight app, and that is to come together with a flight and just learn about using the aircraft. And so I know 1 or 2 things about the Airbus. SimCaesar knows already a lot, but he said he's always happy to learn more. And ask SimCaesar, what he feels more comfortable today. I'm sure we'll do another shared flight in the near future. And he said, since he doesn't know the A320 that well, he would prefer just be pilot monitoring on this first flight, which is fine. And we'll just see how it goes. And again, as always, if there are questions, and I know Caesar, he will ask me, no problems. But yeah, and if I get stuck, if I don't know the answer, we'll ask chat. I think they know everything. All right. And also, first of all, thank you so much, SimCaesar, again, for your amazing support. 78 months, a long time. We're getting old, aren't we?
Wow.
You're
welcome.
Thank you so much. Time's just flying like crazy.
No.
Yeah, no. And then Winky as well. Thank you for the 21 months. Cool. All right. So
a couple of people said that I'm a bit quiet. Can you
yeah,
turn
sure.
it up on your end?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm now on 200%. So let's see. Right. And then maybe I can boost. Can you just do a sound check again, please?
Okay, checking. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hello.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Welcome on board.
All right. So yeah, that should be. I mean, I can hear you nice and loud. So let me see if people are happy now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then might be an OBS thing.
No,
much better, says Monster.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, much better. Yeah, easy, exactly. Yeah, fine now. Yeah. Hey, Peter, nice to see you too. Good now. Okay, cool. Excellent. All right. People are happy. We are happy. Flight plan is filed. We are already logged in on PilotEdge. And I think, Caesar, you know the routing quite well, correct?
Yeah. I picked a flight that would be comfortable to me, something on PilotEdge in the western, on the PilotEdge coverage area, because I fly here all the time. So I thought, unfamiliar aircraft, let's pick a familiar route.
Yeah.
Next time that we do shared cockpit, I hope there's a next time after today. But next time I'd like to do the Zebo in somewhere in Europe.
Yeah.
Your choice. So that would be a familiar aircraft in an unfamiliar route for me. So
Yeah,
a couple of
absolutely.
learning experiences there.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and again, that's how great this shared flight app is. That way, you can go fly different regions. There's always someone knows more about something than the other. Excellent. And SimCaesar, thanks again for gifting us up to Monster. And then hello to Scotty Toddy. He says, you did the unthinkable and got him in the Airbus. Yeah, that's true. It's my fault. I will say that. Oh, dear, dear. Yes, yeah. So PilotEdge is a paid subscription. Yes, it is. And that currently, yes, US, pretty much the West Coast. They have a lot of airports covered on the west side of the US. But yeah, it is. But it's a professional service, if you like. I mean, if you think about, just doing this according to real world procedures, VFR, IFR, this is the platform to learn. Cool. Okay, so how do we do this then in shared flight? The easiest thing to do. So one of the big issues always is trying to figure out what the pilot flying does and what the pilot monitoring does. So here in the Airbus, we have come to a point where we're going to say, well, so just in order for the pilot monitoring not to get completely bored, he will do the overhead panel on startup. So it's your job, Caesar, to get the aircraft powered up and do the overhead panel. It'll be my duty as the pilot flying to put everything into the FMS. And then we both prepare departure charts, do the briefings, and then read the first checklist. That's pretty much it. Yeah, Ghost, that's correct. We do have a flow chart, but I'm not sure if that covers the startup sequence as well. But I can have a look.
Do you start the APU straight away?
IRL, we're gonna have to wait until the flight warning computers power up. So if you look on the well, now it's gone on the engine warning display.
Okay.
It does take a while, and as long as the flight warning computers haven't started up completely, you can't do the fire test correctly.
I see.
So so if it's like warm outside, then normally we'd go straight away with the APU fire test and then just start the APU up. Yeah.
So am I good to do the test and start the APU now, or?
Yeah, try. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm feeling pretty good about this part. I think I'm doing everything.
Well, the aircraft.
I'm waiting for the little the little door to open here, the flap.
Yeah, perfect. The aircraft hasn't exploded yet, so you're doing good. All good. Yeah, Tyler, yeah, he hasn't called for help yet, so he's doing good. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm not sure, Lukat, if the Toliss here in shared flight supports both flight sticks.
Priority left.
Yeah, Ghost, you can blame me for sure today. Absolutely. I was going to look at the time. In 1802, yes, it's almost, let me just dial it up to 17 so we get the real time. I was just wondering, because outside it looked fairly dark, but it should be like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, correct, on the west coast?
It is 11:17 on the west coast.
Oh, there we go. So I guess it's because of the overcast layer there. Hey, Sanders. Yeah, so also, yeah, shared flight. As always, It's you know, you can. I understand people love those streams where you have like two professionals, but I also know people love when you have someone that's not so experienced, simply because a lot of people feel the same, right? They feel they can relate really well how they would maybe feel. And you've got to realize, first of all, you have to have the guts to come online and fly with me in a shared flight, right? So already hats off to SimCaesar for doing that. Because I keep asking people, and they're like, "Oh no, I'm good." So not many people have the courage to do this with me. So
Black box?
yes.
I'm not sure where we are, but we're not at Burbank.
Are you kidding me?
I just went to external view to look around and try to find a reason why it was a little bit dark, and this is not Burbank.
You're joking. What did I put in then?
I don't know.
Oh no.
Zoom out a little bit on your view. Let me.
Oh, hang on. I can tell you what it is. It's Kilo Bravo Tango Victor.
I'm not sure where that is.
I have no idea, and that explains. You know why? That explains why I didn't have the Burbank scenery then. Oh, it's Burlington. Almost. It sounds almost like Burbank.
We're on the opposite coast. That's why it's darker here.
Okay. So I guess we're gonna have.
The thing is, the terminal looks similar. I couldn't tell that the terminal was.
I know, right? I know, right? I know. Okay. So let me do the following. First of all, I need to get you. Let's disconnect from shared flight first of all.
Okay.
Active flight. Disconnect. So that's the first thing. And then I've got to slew myself to Burbank. Luckily, this is a matter of seconds. So I have no idea why. Yeah.
That explains why my view went into outer space when I connected. Because I went from the west coast all the way to the east coast.
So many.
My plane jumped across the country there.
Yeah. So there we go. So it makes all the sense. But hang on, let me see.
Things are making sense.
Yeah. So hang on, but that is Burbank is Kilo Bravo Uniform Romeo, no?
Correct.
Because it's saying no airports found.
Let me see if I can.
Huh?
I have no explanation. I just loaded in Burbank, so well, you've got it typed twice there. Oh, I see. You're typing the word Burbank.
Yeah, no, yeah. I tried both. Hold on.
Try.
Yeah, but isn't that strange?
Do you have KLAX?
Yeah. Los Angeles is in there. Huh? I'm confused because I know I've flown to Burbank on X-plane.
Maybe when you were changing the scenery, you somehow removed it accidentally or something?
Let me just do the following. Okay, guys. Small intermission. I'm sorry. Yeah, but because Burbank, I thought if you have a payware add-on, right, and then you remove that, it still should have the custom one, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm good. Anyways, I tell you what we'll do. I'm gonna go ahead and load the payware, and then it should have it, shouldn't it? I mean, because it has Los Angeles, so I do have it. I'm confused because normally they.
All right. Tail West has an option
Tail West.
I think the quick way is to see if you put your scenery in there if it works.
Yeah.
And then we can also fly out of Los Angeles to Sacramento.
Now let me try.
Burbank is a more interesting departure.
Yeah, sure. I mean, again, it does not make sense that that is.
It disappeared.
Oh, hang on. Maybe Did I maybe kill my global airports folder as well? That would explain it, wouldn't it? So there's another folder, global airports. Let me just check that I still have that in. No, you know what I did? When I moved the folders back again to, because I only load sceneries that I'm using. I'm not not loading all of them. I think I removed the global airports scenery as well. I think that's why.
Mm-hmm.
So, but just to make sure that everything's correct, then you do KSMF. There we go. So now I'm going to make sure that we have all the sceneries. Hey, Brenold, vielen Dank. Thank you so much for the 96 months, my God. Thank you, Brenold. Same to you. Have a good week. So now just have to make sure that I have the correct order as well. And then we should be good. All right. That got me totally confused there. And SimCaesar, and again, thank you so much gifting us up to Teo West.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much. Right.
First class. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to do one more thing here. There you go.
I watched your your sim cockpit setup video on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of born out of a really stupid idea. So I saw that because I was using Monster Tech hardware stuff already for my desktop, and so I was just from time to time I was checking their website for new stuff, and then suddenly I saw that they were now offering that MTS rig, right? And so I thought, wow, and then I thought, blimey, that's expensive. And then I contacted them and said, hey, would it be possible to maybe get a discount, and I'll link your website to my account or something. And they said, yeah, why not, right? And so that's why, I actually bought it. Otherwise, I think if they hadn't given me a discount, I probably would have not gone with it, to be honest.
I think you're loading in Sacramento.
Yeah. Just to check quickly.
Just checking. Okay.
Scenery. So otherwise, we're going to have a bad surprise again, and then I know my chat will go crazy. They will let me know weeks on end about this. Hey, MAN. So and the thing is that then I really took a long time to check everything to make sure that it does suit my needs. And one of the big pros was the fact that I can quickly switch around all that different hardware stuff that I have.
Yeah.
And it's very comfortable. So when I'm sitting here, and you can imagine, right, and you know that as well, if you're sitting a long time at your desk, it's very tiring. And so for me, that was now, just being able to sit more comfortably and stream, for long periods of time. So that's the reason why I actually then bought it. And my wife, up to this day, does not know how much it costs. So Nobody tell her. Commander Regulus, hello
She's
to you.
an angel.
Yeah, she is. She really is. She's been extremely supportive. Hayden, hello to you as well. Welcome. Right, apologies for the slight delay here. But just checking now that I have the scenery, and we are departing from the right airport. Just tell her the taxes were high. Don't even start me on that. Thank you so much, Monster, for the 200 bits, and the Tyra Goth coming in as well. Another 100 bits. Thank you so much. And Monster says hats off for SimCaesar for taking the leap into the A320. Yeah, so he's donating 100 bits for you, SimCaesar, 100 for me, and I'll pass it on to SimCaesar, of course. And then, yeah, it's our pleasure again, being a flight sim enthusiasts. So I can say that at least I have scenery here. Yeah, it's not the best, but it'll do. And then now let me go to. Let me see. Oh, now it has Burbank. Yeah, I just accidentally took out the global airport folder from X-Plane. That's why. So I have gate Alpha 1 that I can use.
Okay, I'm. I don't know which gate I'm at, but it'll put me over to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Get here.
Hayden, you bought Tower Sim 3 yesterday. This could be a gateway drug to VATSIM control. Yeah, it could be, yeah. Although I have to admit, so I think I have that as well. And I did try that. And it's with voice recognition, correct? Well, I thought, might as well just start with something proper, right? Like LA. And I got, tasks saturated within minutes. There's like 3 aircraft calling at the same time for startup. I was like, okay, no, that's too much for me. I'm not made for controlling, I'm afraid. Hey, Avenger. And FlyX2, thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, this is a little bit of a shame because at the last airport, I did such a brilliant job of powering up the aircraft.
Yeah.
That was...
But you know what they say, right?
All for naught, but...
Practice makes perfect, right? so...
All right. Just let me know when the shared flight is ready to join.
It says it's preparing the world. Sounds good, doesn't it? X-Plane's preparing the world. Winky says the voice recognition was a hit and miss with these Dutch accents. Yeah, I can imagine. Right, let me see. Okay, so yeah, we're parked. Snuck. There's like 10 centimeters of buffer between the terminal and the nose. Perfectly fine. Yeah, why not? I mean, so I'll tell you what. Then we go back to show main window. Then I have to go back to cold and dark. Just make sure that it's no. Cold and dark is set. Create the flight again. On PilotEdge, create the flight. And I like how it already pulls in the SimBrief flight plan, so it knows the routing, etc. Okay, so you can join anytime.
Okay. I've joined as a passenger.
Okay, and then on board, we'll make you first officer. Cool. Right.
I think we need to reconnect to PilotEdge.
Yes, good idea.
You might want to blank your screen so it doesn't show your email address.
Well, it's an official. It's posted on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So that's but thanks for reminding it. All right. So American 5244 it is today.
Connected to PilotEdge.
Connected to PilotEdge.
Did you file the flight plan on PilotEdge?
I have indeed, yes. Hydra asks a quick question. When you're creating flight on shared flight, does it make... Yes, Hydra, yeah. So it did ask for the X-Plane 11, X-Plane 12. I mean, it recognizes the aircraft type already, but it asks you whether or not you want to have that for X-Plane 11 or X-Plane 12. All right, and then, yeah, whenever you're ready, I can hear already powering the aircraft. As if nothing happened, guys. There you go. Oh, but yeah, I can see that we are now in Burbank. Yeah. Oh, now you know what? Now I recognize the place as well. This is with the visual approach, right? With that power plant in the back. Ah.
Yeah, this is that has the 4 stacks.
Yeah, the 4 stack visual.
All of the departures, because of the terrain, all the departures and approaches into here are all interesting, and the runways are short, and just a cool little airfield.
You see, that's it. Excellent. All right, so now that we have everything, we'll go set up the aircraft. That's the flight plan. And then airports. But I love how we finally realized that we had the, or you realized at the wrong airport. I was saying, like, it's a bit dark here. It's weird, right? It's like 11 in the morning, almost, midday. Why is it so dark?
The terminal looked convincingly similar, so...
It did indeed. Now, I guess I can't change the time when we connect it. So, well, it's
you
fine.
can. You can.
Okay.
You can make it earlier, and it will change my, since you're the...
Yeah, then I'll try that again.
So you're the connector, I'm the connectee, so when you change the time, it should...
Yeah, there we go. 1837, that's going off now. No sniffing the terminal. Yeah, it looks like that, doesn't it? Come on, Regular says he flew here as a passenger on Southwest. Nice. Oh, so, yeah, sport landing, for sure. It's a short runway. So,
yeah, I have too flown into this airport. It's really nice, and avoid LAX at all cost, I think, when you're flying to LA.
Yeah. I can imagine a lot of people probably do that as well. Right. So, let me load in the flight plan. There it is, and it says... the cost index is 9. Level 360. Oh, I remember we had the same issue. I think when I flew with who did I fly with? That it doesn't accept the cost index for some reason in here. I think it was with Mark Lindley. Maybe Tail West.
Is that just a shared flight thing?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, maybe Tail West has an answer on that. The Lance needs a restart.
I put the cost index. I put it in there. No problem, but that wasn't on shared flights.
Yeah. But that's not going to be an issue anyway. So, Tail West is not sure. Yeah. Mark. Remember when we did a flight regarding the cost index? I remember that for some reason it just wouldn't. We just couldn't put that in there.
Maybe it's loading the flight plan from SimBrief.
Could be.
That?
Could be. It's that might be the case. Yeah. Alrighty, over the panel. Looking good. So the only thing that I'm missing, and again, that's just nitpicking on the little bit. So the ground control on the left-hand side of the overhead panel, pretty much at the bottom there.
Ground control.
Yeah, it's above the mask menu on. That should be on the ground.
Okay, I actually have that, and I think I missed it, but ground
just-
control. Where is that?
You see the button on left-hand side?
Oh, yes. Okay, so that should be on.
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
instead of auto. Okay.
Yeah, the thing is that this is so as long as the engines aren't running, the voice recorder is not working. And don't ask me why Airbus made it that way. So pilots have actually got to put that switch to on so that all the voice recorders. Yeah, Taylor West, thanks for joining and see you later.
I actually had that on my self-made checklist, and for some reason didn't see it. And
Yeah, no worries. No worries. Again, whatever I recognize something. It's no critique. It's just a little nudge saying, hey, if you want to do it 100% correct, that will be on.
that's exactly what I want.
Excellent. Perfect. So I was going to check the zero fuel weight. It's 61.2. It's actually something that that I have to remind myself of very often when I am outside of my working space, right? So as a pilot, you learn how to communicate and how to give feedback, and or in the flight deck, if someone notices that something's not according to procedure, we just say it, and the other one will just accept it, right? So even a first officer will tell me if I've missed a button or switch. He'll say, hey, by the way, your whatever isn't switched on, and that's it. And I say thanks, I'll switch it on, right? It's just a normal thing. But of course, I mean, outside of the aviation environment, a direct kind of comment doesn't go down the same way with other people. So that's why my wife is used to it. But sometimes other people, obviously, they will give me a strange look, like and I realize, okay, sorry, yeah, I will add please and try to soften the tone on that.
Not necessary with me.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, Andrea.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If it's like sometimes it's not according 100% real world, i.e., American Airlines doesn't have Neos. Forgive me, but it's just for the fun, right? So, we wanted to fly the Neo today, and I had this beautiful American Airlines livery there for whatever reason. I don't know why. LEAP engines. So if it doesn't represent the real world, then I apologize, but that's just the way it is. Sorry, Caesar, you were going to say something.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
It was just no.
Alrighty, so I can see the flight plan. Zero fuel weight is supposed to be 61.2, which is good. And fuel, we're supposed to have 5.2 tons, which is also what we have. So now you are the expert, it can happen IRL as well. It could be that me as a captain, I'm pretty new to a new airport, and the first officer may have lots of experience. So today, SimCaesar is definitely the person who's more experienced regarding Burbank. So on the flight plan, it says we have runway 15 with the Oros 2 departure. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Exactly what I have.
Okay. So let me quickly go and get the departure ATIS. See if that works.
Okay. Did you put the flight plan in the MCDU?
So it's not complete yet.
Oh.
So just gonna. So if you go on your page on your side, you probably have from Burbank, then flight discontinuity, Castro, Nure, another discontinuity, and then Sacramento, correct?
I don't think I have. Let's see, I'm on the flight plan page. I have nothing.
Okay, can you do me a favor then? Go to init,
Okay.
And then press on the right hand side where it says init something.
Okay. Init request.
Yeah, init request. Press that, and then it should load everything.
It says no flight plan to uplink.
Ah, okay. So did you put in my SimBrief code and
I did, but maybe when we started a new flight, it got reset.
yeah, and maybe and press save preferences as well on the bottom.
Okay, that I did. Oh, it looks like it's still in there. Oh, it's all stars, so I can't see if it's. I assume. Let me see. You sent it to me on Discord. Let me copy that.
Yeah. And if it doesn't work, I'll type everything in again, and then it should hopefully sync up. Yeah. So normally, guys, what we normally do is we share the same SimBrief ID, and that way, when I load in the flight plan, normally it syncs up with the other person, because that saves me from having to type in everything. It may be it's not working.
So I re-entered the thing, and now it's coming in on my side. So.
Yeah, my side as well. Yeah, there we go. And it has a Cosnex as well now, so maybe that was the reason that it wouldn't do it. Okay, cool. So then I'll go wind. Our wind request is already done. Okay, wind is in. And then we did say, although let me have a look just to practice that. Can you do me a favor and dial in the ATIS frequency and put it on
okay, I had it in, and could you hear it?
On the number 2 set. Let me just check my mic settings here. Ooh, it's bright. So 345. I'm not hearing it. Oh, maybe can it try that on the set number 1, maybe?
Okay.
And then maybe that works. Svenja, dankeschön. Oh, no, okay, dann gute Besserung, Svenja. Oh, you know why? I think I know why. It's my sound settings. Hold on. Preferences.
Okay.
Input mic, output. Let's do that under. Let's check.
Altimeter 299er.
So can you try again on set number 2, please?
Land and hold short operations
that was
in effect for non-turbojet aircraft landing runway 15.
15.
4,250 feet available. VFR departures contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information hotel. Burbank, Glendale, Pasadena Airport. ATIS information hotel. 1753 Zulu. Windcom. Visibility 10. Sky condition, clear. Temperature 3, dew point 1.13. Altimeter 299er. Arriving and departing runways 8, 15. Visual approach in use. Land and hold short operations in effect for non-turbojet aircraft landing runway 15. 4,250 feet available.
2817 Delta,
VFR
departure, radar
departures.
contact.
I'll switch
This controller is a very good friend of mine.
Oh, nice.
What a surprise! He doesn't usually control during the day.
Oh, okay.
You have
So this is a
information
nice
hotel.
treat.
17 Delta, traffic 2 o'clock,
There we go. So
3 miles
I've
north,
copied the
approaching
ATIS,
southeast
so
bound
hotel
along the shoreline.
2999.
1,500 VFR type is unknown.
And so we're going to go
Looking for traffic, 17 Delta.
runway 15 with the Oros 2 departure, which will then lead us to the Castro transition. Ascended gravity, hello to you. Castro it is, insert. And then we have radar vectors, Tiller, then the flight planned route to Nure. SimCaesar, you're too kind. Thank you so much.
Welcome aboard to
gifting a sub to Ascended Gravity.
New
Thank
subscribers
you,
should
thank you, thank you.
benefit from past first class. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Sacramento, what would you say we expect there for the wind is 160 at 6, so southerly it's 17.
So, Sacramento has some really nice RNP approaches, and I was hoping we could get one of those to 17 right from our direction of flight.
Okay.
Yeah, the RNP Zulu 17 right.
Okay.
It's a nice RNP approach.
Nice.
And it starts at Obomi, which I think is the
17 Delta, turn left.
last waypoint on our arrival.
Resume navigation.
Okay. So I will enter the RMP Zulu 17 right, correct? Is that
Yes.
okay? Zulu, and it's the arrival route Sutra 4. And then let me just check the hey Prologe and HC simulations. Well, you have, so on the Toliss, if you go to your joystick actions, you have to say reverse on the same axes, and then the important thing is that you set a idle detent location, and that it helps if you actually have a hardware detent for idle power. If you don't have that, it's difficult to get that, because obviously it can't be 0, so it can't be 0.0. So you need some units for the reverse area, and then it should work. When you're bad, hello to you. So let me quickly also add what do you mean you forgot how horrible X-Plane looks? It looks different. You get used to it. And again, you know, it's a bit bright at the moment, but I have the what's it called map enhancement running, so should be good. Right. So that. And I mean, we have talked about Toliss, the fact that yes, I mean it's not the best looking textures for the aircraft itself, but
Do you use the regular, like the standard, or the HD version of the Toliss?
the HD version I use. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And we've talked about it so many times, and I'm not going to talk about it today. It's just, you know, whatever suits your needs best. That's you know, that's what you go with. And today, shared flight again. I think Matthias Koch is correct. He was on a podium discussion, and he said, you know, something important for the future in his eyes is shared flight, and he hopes that you know, Microsoft will also at some point be adding that as a kind of already, you know, default. I'll have that included you know, in a default version, so that people can, you know, fly together in these complex machines just like in real life, and not having to fly on their own. And I can just advertise for this. If you know, if you ever tried shared flight and you get quite comfortable with it, and you know, you start to understand the multi-crew concept and are able to distribute the workload, it is so much fun, because again, it's just so much more realistic. So the approach. Hey, Joshy. I'm not sure exactly, Joshi, what you mean, because the only thing they announced, wasn't it with a joint venture with Aerosoft, with A330 or something for Microsoft? I think that's what I heard. Zulu 17 right. So I'm just looking for the point at which we start from. So it will be two-door, I guess, on the final radar vectors or something. And it's two-door insert. So let me have a look here. The constraints. So it is NURE. Then we're going to have radar vectors. Although, hang on, something's missing.
Oh, I think our initial point on the approach is Ovomi.
Ah, okay.
Oscar Victor Oscar Mike Echo from our direction of flight, and then we can fly that nice 180 turn there on the RNP.
Yeah, so I have so 17 right Zulu, correct?
Yeah, 17 right. Let me see what.
Hey, Stabro.
Look at the chart you have up on yours. Yeah.
The Tenko would be. Oh no! Oh, sorry. The Ovomi. Or how do you pronounce that? Ovomi.
I would say Ovomi.
Okay, Ovomi. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, and the arrival, the Sutter arrival terminates at Ovomi, so you can just pick up the approach from there and do that pretty RNP. And
yeah, there we go. Now
it's
got it.
Really nice.
Perfect. Yeah, it's a good idea. That is a good idea. So Zulu 17 right. Suter, Ovomi, and then it's gonna be. Let's have a look. Could be. I think, you know what's getting me confused. This is the Toliss has a very untypical way to insert these approaches. Let me try that. No. So it just goes until Nure. It doesn't want to enter that transition for some reason.
875 Alpha Tango, release for departure. Clearance void if not off in 5 minutes.
So, and that's so unusual. So we're not entering.
10 minutes of your intentions. Change to advisory for Cathedral.
So now it's entering it. No, it's not.
That. No, 875 Alpha Tango, ready.
I'm wondering if that has to be shared flight. Can you do me a favor, Caesar?
Mm-hmm.
On your box, can you try to enter that approach? RMP Zulu.
Okay.
17 right.
All right, let me see here. Oops. Why is it asking me to do a departure from SMF? Am I doing this wrong? Oh, no, here we go. I hit the wrong thing. Sorry. Let me see here. Arnav Zulu. Let's see, Arnav Yankee. Let me see here. Arnav Zulu 17 yep. Right.
Exactly.
And it's not showing me a transition.
So it should be approached via.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Ovomi. Should I insert?
Yep, please. Okay, so the page is answering. So, SimCaesar, can you do me a favor? Real quickly. I am going to... Let me just see. On board. Active flight. And how do we do that? So there's a way to pause, sync, transmit. That's it. Now, can you press just put the on your MCD? Press the init page, please.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. And then let me resume sync transmit. Okay, so now can you try that again with the insertion? So there we go, flight plan.
Mine shows it's got the, it's in there, but, so you want me to put it in again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Local departure November 75 off Tango 1300, climbing to 10,000. Number 875 Alpha Tango, SoCal departure, Squawk Canyon.
No, so that's
Okay,
weird.
so I'm not putting the arrival in, I'm just putting the approach, right?
Yeah, the weird thing is, so for me, it shows you now on the fixed info page, which is kind of weird.
Now.
Okay.
Number 875 Alpha Tango, radar contact, Palm Springs altimeter 2985.
It's not allowing me to... It's not showing up on my list of approaches.
Currently 2,000.
Maybe because it's already so... Well, let me see here. Not allowed. I wish you could see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So...
Okay.
It's already selected, so I assume it's not letting me... It's not showing up on the list.
Okay, can you do me a favor? Can you press init again on your MCDU?
Okay.
Okay, so let me do the following. I'm just going to enter... Yes, Russia says as well, it seems like our FMS are not synced. So I have a feeling it has to do with the upload. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start again. But this time I'm going to enter everything manually. And it's not a long routing, so it shouldn't really take that long. If you could monitor on your page, on your FMS, if I'm, if it's kind of typing in everything, and I will tell you what I'm typing. So I'm now typing the flight number 5244.
Okay, that appeared on mine.
Okay, and then Cosnex 9.
That's right.
Okay, level 360.
Right.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go on flight plan page. You do the same, please, on yours.
Okay.
There we go. Now, Burbank departure 15 with the Oros 2 departure and the Castro transition. I will then insert.
Okay, that's all looks like it's correct.
Okay. Then
on my side.
Yeah, and then I'm going to try again with the arrival. So it's the Zulu 17 right.
2817 Delta, Panic, SoCal, Bridge 119.6.
Insert.
119.6, 2817 Delta.
So let's have a look. And then, so Castro, it should be Castro. I still have a discontinuity in there. It's direct Norway, it says.
SoCal approach, 2817 Delta.
How do I spell that? That is direct Norway.
Okay.
So yeah, it's probably just an issue with uploading via SimBrief.
November 2817 Delta, SoCal, Bridge, Charlie Route, Center 2997, information Oscar, verify reply.
Get Oscar
and then it's direct.
Beginning in Oceanside.
Probably Sutra.
Did you put the, let me see, it should be New Way, and then Kaela, and then Sutter?
Ah, okay, so I just put Sutter.
Yeah, there's another one missing there.
Kaela, okay. Let me do that. Kaela. And then it's direct to Fools, correct?
No, then it's, there's Sutter.
Oh.
Sierra Uniform,
I know.
Tango Romeo.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, okay, they're out of order there.
Yeah, there we go. So let me just take that out real quickly. Yeah, I put it into wrong. Got prompt there. So.
Okay, let's see. New Ray, then it should be Kaela after New Ray.
That's it, and then it's Sutter.
And then Sutter, and then Pools.
John Wayne,
Yeah,
Stern
yeah,
delivery,
that's it.
Skylane
Cool.
8495 X-ray.
And Kaela's 280 above, so I'll put that in as well as a restriction.
Go ahead.
Looking to pick up the Looking to pick up a
Okay.
clearance for 8495 X-ray, IFR.
Yeah, so now if you check the routing on your side.
Yeah.
And hoping to do the India
Let's
1 rating.
check sure then, and
5 X-rays,
from
gentlemen,
allowing me
clearance
to.
Roger. For the future,
yeah,
don't
okay,
call
that
any
looks right to me.
clearance
Yeah,
control.
that was the
Listen to you on
problem.
first
That was
call.
just the
Clear
sim
to
brief
Yonge
sync
Airport after
that got us
departure, turn right
desynced.
heading 220.
So I guess it's the best
Red
to
vector
just
should be
type it in
TOR direct.
manually. Yep,
Maintain
that looks good.
2000,
So now
expect
the
3000,
routing is
1
in.
minutes after departure.
So init
Departure
A
frequency on
page, B
128.1
page.
squawk 6567.
So it was 62.1 zero fuel
again,
weight and
8495
5.2
Right, 495
lock
X-ray,
fuel.
clear
I'll
to
enter
Yonge
that as
Airport
well.
after departure, turn right heading 220.
Could you have a look on
Red
your
vector,
init
TOR, then direct.
second
Maintain
page,
2000,
please?
expect 3000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure
There we go.
frequency 128.1 squawk 6567.
So it should also show 60.1 and 5.2 on the right-hand side.
Uh-huh.
That
correct.
was right turn heading 220, radar vectors for
Good.
Seal
Okay, so
Beach,
that's set.
followed by direct, altitude 2000, expect
RATNAV, so let me have a look at the
3000
departure route real quickly.
128.1
Burbank
for departure,
departure.
and 6567 on the transponder.
That was the Aorus 2 of departure.
Air
Um,
5 X-ray, the readback is correct.
So that says
And
maintain
Air
250
Alpha,
unless otherwise directed. Initial climb. The top altitude is 230, which I'll put in here.
4,500. Straight winds on the double.
Oops. Gotta be careful with the. Can I have a look on the autopilot panel? If it says
Yes,
230.
230.
Okay, cool. I did a bit quickly, so sometimes it. But if it's syncing, that's fine. Right, climbing a right turn, heading 210, or as assigned by ATC, and then expect radar vectors to cross Tiller at or above 8,000. Then track 324 cross Oros at 9,000 or above, and then transition and reflying transition to Castro.
After departure, turn right
So
heading
right-hand
210.
side.
Radar vector shield HVOR, then
Okay,
outbound.
so let me just check the
Maintain
flight plan
2000,
here.
expect 4,000,
So
10 minutes after
Tiller,
departure. Departure frequency 128.1
8,000
squawk
or
4314.
Oros 9,000, Heyo, and a Castro without any more restrictions on that. Cool. So that's all correctly entered. I'm looking for any VORs. Don't see anything here that makes sense. There's an RNF departure. We don't need to put anything in. Transitions 18,000, radar required. Either DME, IRU, or GKS for updating required. RNF 1 is required. Okay, we have that, so that's fine. I'm going to enter a heading of 210 initially, or whatever ATC tells us later. So that's fine. And then just going to copy the active and the secondary. And engine out. Let me have a look. It doesn't have that on. So it's just going to be departure route initially heading 210 in case of engine failure. Good. Performance. So what we do, just like in real life, Caesar, on your EFB, so it's on your IB tab if you like. Actually, no, disregard. On the top, so if you go to EFB, on the top you have Takeoff Performance tab there. So each of us separately will calculate the Takeoff Performance, and then we'll come together and compare, see if we get the same values.
Okay.
So for the wind,
John
Found it?
Ground Skyline 8495 X-ray at the transient parking with November IFR departure.
So the weather is as follows. We said the wind is calm. So what I'll do, I'm going to enter 5 knots of tailwind just to make sure that we cover that. So I'm going to put in as a wind 330 at 5. We have 23 degrees, and well, it says QNH hectopascals. 1016 is fine, or 2999. whatever you have in there. Dry runway, anti-ice off. The takeoff weight is 67.1 approximately. So I'm going to put 67 for takeoff.
Charlie Kilo, hold short, runway 20 left at Kilo.
And the CG.
Alpha Hotel Charlie Kilo, hold short, runway 20 left at Kilo.
And the CG for takeoff. Let's see.
20 right at Kilo.
29.2 it says here. Yeah, let's take 29.5 is good. Although weight and balance, I can have a look here as well. Yeah, 29.5 is the takeoff CG. So we'll take a flex, config automatic, November 265, hello, and then air conditioning will take off, and then we'll compute. And, did you get the results?
I did.
Okay, so I'll read it and you can check if you have the same. So I have config 2. Flex 73.
Correct.
And then V1 range, I have 125 until 128.
Same.
VR 135.
Correct.
V2 137.
Correct.
For the trim, it's up 0.4.
Correct.
Green dot 217.
Correct.
And that's all we need. So that adds up nicely. Fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So that's exactly what we do.
I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, so this would be exactly done the same way, just to make sure that, you know, that if I put something in wrong, whatever, wrong temperature or whatever, wrong runway, you know, the other pilot would cover that. We would find that, say, hey, I have different values, you know, and then we check. And sure, I mean, I've sometimes, you know, I put in the wrong intersection. Taxiway in there, etc. So there could always be a mismatch, right? So that way we try to make sure that we don't put in the wrong values. And we've seen incidents in the past where aircraft didn't have the correct performance values. So I'm not going to enter.
Perfect. We 7,000 runway, so not much margin for error.
Yeah. It's giving us, so I'm going to take the lower V1, so I'll take the 125, which gives us a few more meters of stop margin. So if I look at the V1 min, it tells us we need about accelerate stop distance 1825. So that should still give us about 200 to 300 meters stop margin then altogether. So that should be fine. So if you go to your takeoff performance page, please, on your side.
Yes.
Just to make sure that it's correctly syncing up all the... yeah.
All right. The template. Let's see here.
There we go. Just to make sure that it's entering all the values. So the right-hand side, I've put flaps 2 up 0.4 with flex 73.
Yes.
And then left-hand side, V1 is 125, VR 135, and then V2 137. Oh, hang on, this is out of range. I should put 137, not 37, 137. And that's it.
Identical.
Excellent. I'm going to put in the engine out acceleration at not 1800 but 2300, 1500 feet above the ground. And thrust reduction, acceleration. Interesting that it gives me, because the elevation here is 800 feet approximately. So I'm going to put in NADP 1. So that because of a tight turn, I don't want to accelerate too early. So we'll do 2,300 for the thrust reduction. And then for the acceleration, I'll put 3,000 above the airport, which is 3,800. And that should mean we should be able to do the turn before we lower the nose. Good. That looks complete on my side. Now you followed up the... So normally the pilot flying enters all the data into the MCU, and then he tell the pilot monitoring to say, okay, I finished all the entries. Can you check, please? But we've done that already now because we just make sure that everything's synced up correctly. So you've already seen the inputs. Sander's asking, how long time do you use from entering the aircraft to the pushback in real life? Well, I mean, so honestly, for us pilots, we can get the aircraft ready in like, if it's fueled, if it's catered, and passengers on board, we can get the aircraft running within 15 minutes. Simply because we have all these uplink features. So the longest thing what it takes is the takeoff calculations, the briefing, and that's it. But 15 minutes normally would give us enough time to. But of course, if you ask about aircraft cold and dark, and it has to be loaded, it has to be catered, cleaned, etc., then an hour at least on the short range aircraft. Long range even longer. It just takes a very long time. Good. Caesar, any questions up to this point?
No, I'm learning some new things and feeling confident about the things I already know, so everything's great.
Excellent. Yeah, I can see you're doing really well, so you've really studied up ahead. So now on my checklist, there were 2 pages, right? So on the second page, what I have is a departure and arrival briefing format.
You're definitely not doing the correct profile.
So, I don't know if you ever saw that before.
Okay.
I don't know that I have, but I've got it in front of me.
Okay. Well, this is already... So this is not exactly up to date with my real-world briefing procedure, but it kind of gives you an idea how we would brief a departure and arrival. So you can see pilot flying and pilot monitoring. So me as the captain, since I'm already also taxiing, I would start the departure briefing by giving you a taxi briefing first of all. So since I'm so experienced here, I'll get the chart open. So we're gonna push back from the terminal, and then correct me if I'm wrong. There's a runway crossing. Runway 26 crossing, and then it's going to be Alpha, and then yeah, either holding point Alpha 1 or Bravo. Now we're going to need Bravo full length anyway, so I'll brief Bravo, okay. And then hotspot, obviously the runway crossing. Would that coincide with your experience?
Yes.
Excellent. Good.
So we'll take a...
686 Bravo Zulu, gentlemen, ground level TC ready, kilo.
They'll give us Alpha to 15.
Yeah. Alpha. So the holding point is Alpha, you say? Or Alpha 1?
No, it's the full length. It's not labeled on my chart.
Would like radar vectors for the ILS runway 20 right, 8495 X-ray.
Another 5 X-ray expect ILS.
Yeah, so let me just go ahead and really quickly check that.
Right 340 and expect the ILS 8495 X-ray.
Just to make sure that what the scenery gives us here as well. Yeah, we can take full length. So, and we definitely need that full length for our departure. Otherwise, we're missing those 200 meters. And I'd hate to go and knock the sign off here at the end of 15. It says fly quietly. Right. Okay. So we'll try to fly quietly and try to clear that boundary with a good margin. So yeah, we'll take a full length Alpha. Sorry, Bravo. It was, I think. Yeah, Bravo.
Well, Bravo's on the west side. We'll be taxiing up Alpha on the east side.
I get now what you mean.
All the way to the end.
So it doesn't say on the chart, but it will be Alpha. Will be full length instead of Bravo. Okay, got it. Got it. You see, that's why we brief. Perfect. So now the weird thing is for you is that you're going to brief as pilot monitoring. You're going to brief the departure, the first cleared altitude, the minimum altitude, and then how much extra fuel we have for our destination.
Okay. At what point should I get the clearance?
We could get it now. I mean, it makes sense
Okay.
because otherwise we may get a different departure. It doesn't make sense if we brief the departure route. Yeah, I was already 3 steps ahead thinking that we're going to get the departure because you always get that departure. But sure, of course, normally we'd get the clearance first. So I'm ready to listen and then...
Okay. Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
think usually at Burbank they give you a climb via except maintain.
Ah, okay.
I don't think they give you the top altitude on the chart usually,
Ah, okay.
as far as I can remember. So
Yeah, and then it makes sense to get the clearance first, of course.
yeah, let me get our clearance here.
Yeah. Adiola, hello to you as well. And ATC Bear, thank you much for 13 months.
905 X-ray, turn right heading 020.
Right 020, 8495 X-ray.
686 Bravo Zulu, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right at Kilo, clear for takeoff, wind 190 at 6.
20 right, clear for takeoff. 6 Bravo Zulu.
Burbank clearance, American 5244 clearance to Sacramento.
American 5244, Burbank clearance clear to Sacramento Airport, Oros to departure, Castro transition, then asphalt. Maintain 4000, departure frequency 134.2, squawk 3214.
American 5244 cleared to Sacramento, or is to Castro, file, maintain 4000, departure 134.2, squawk 3214.
American 5244, read back correct.
So I already put the squawk in the box, and so yeah, as expected, SimCaesar, again, thank you so much, gifting the sub to Fight EMT. Thank you so much, and Krishu as well. Thank you so much for the 29 months. Yeah, so as expected, we get the Oros 2 with the Castro transition, and he said maintain 4000, which I've dialed into the autopilot already. And departure frequency you have noted down. Was that 1246?
YouTube channel subscriber experience.
1342.
Oh, 1342. That's a bit different compared to the chart itself. So 1342, okay. Which I will dial in on my standby frequency.
Or 6 Bravo Zulu, contact departure.
And yeah. And Sanders, thank you so much as well for the membership on YouTube. Much appreciated. Okay, so now go ahead with the departure briefing, please.
Okay, so I'm to follow the things that are on the list here on the page.
Exactly. So takeoff runway.
Okay.
Sit.
So we've already done the takeoff runway.
Mm-hmm.
And our SID designator is that the Oros 2? Is that what that's asking?
Departure 686 Bravo Zulu heading 210.
And we're clear to 4,000. That's set.
686 Bravo
And
Zulu,
the
contact, fly maintain 4000.
MSA for climb. Get on the chart here. I think I need your help here. I think the MSA is
Yeah, it's 9,900.
9,000. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the SID chart, and just above the airport, it has that. It's one MSA for the whole 25 miles circle. Bit unusual, but that's just the way it is. So what I would normally brief as a kind of awareness thing, so the MSA officially all around the airport, 25 miles, is 9,900. Which is very high, and that's due to the terrain in the northeast. But we have contour layer indications there. So it says contour intervals on the left-hand side of the chart. And you can see the white area. That is 3,000 feet, say. So that's 3,000. That's the highest obstacle in that area. And so 4,000 feet would be safe if we're flying along under radar vectors. We have our confirmed position, so we know where we are. And we are at least 4,000 feet altitude. Then we can maneuver anywhere in the MSA in the white area, or even outside. But I'll just stick to the inner part of the MSA. And we can see that the first contour layer, the first colored contour layer, is 5,000 as the highest obstacle for doing that. So it will be 6,000 feet safe. All right. And then so on, 7,000, 9,000 as the next contour layer colors. So really what we want to achieve is already an awareness of the airport surroundings, especially like today if you have high terrain around the airport. But officially, the MSA is 9,900. And then the last thing you would brief is the extra fuel and time. Now you're going to ask me where on earth I'm going to find that.
So I the extra time is what? Hold on, I almost had it. All right, I almost had it. Okay. Okay. Extra fuel. I'm not sure about the extra fuel, where to find that. I see extra time 1.8.
Exactly. So I'll tell you what the safest way to calculate that is the following. So unfortunately, Toliss isn't very good in telling you on the fuel prediction page what the actual extra fuel is. Now I know it says on the bottom says extra time 1.8 tons, 52 minutes, but that's wrong because it's missing the alternate fuel and alternate time. Now I'm pretty sure here I can't even enter that. I'm going to try. Sorry, 1.1. See if that works. Oh, it is. Okay, disregard. Now it's telling me extra time negative. Now, of course, that's not correct. The easiest way... Oh, disregard. Hang on. I'm being silly. Hold on. No, that's correct. So for some reason, Toliss doesn't work that out correctly. Now, the safest way to do this is to go on your flight plan page. So it tells me the distance is 342 miles. And if I go into my OFP, it says there 365. But that's because maybe there's a bit mismatch regarding the arrival. And the OFP is calculated with a very long arrival route, and we're doing the ARDF approach, which is a curved approach very close to the airport. So that's already cutting off a couple of track miles. So, so the FMS on the destination line at the bottom, where it says Sacramento 17 right, time 59 minutes, distance 342 miles, it says estimated fuel on board is 2.9 tons. Right now, the 320 Neo has an average fuel flow of about here on the flight plan that says 2.2 tons or 2.1 tons. Normally, the Neo takes about 2 tons per hour total. Right. So what we could do, if we take 2.1, we could say, okay, so 2.9 minus 2.1 is 900 kilograms. And so if you want to arrive with at least 1 hour remaining flight time, then our extra is 900 or 800 kilograms. Which then is about 20 minutes, 25 minutes flight time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if I go on my flight plan, it has extra of 546 kilograms, which is 15 minutes, but the contingency fuel is also included as well, so we have to add that. So it's about the same, 800 kilograms plus minus 20 minutes extra. So that's how much extra fuel and time we have. And again, it's there to give you an awareness on how much fuel do you have, and also, if we mess something up with the routing, or if there's a bit mismatch between the filed flight plan and what we have actually entered in the MCDU, this would actually then pop up now in the briefing, right? And so now we would have the chance to correct this, and that's why we actually brief it. Good. So thank you much for your input there. Now, stop margin RTO is what I have to brief as well. And we said it's about 200 meters, 250 meters stop margin. And the engine out SID, well, we have high terrain. as we've just seen, to the northeast and to the east. So I'd rather stick somewhere and go towards the initial head of 210. So initial engine out recovery after V1, and then I think once we reach about 1,000 feet height, we'll turn right, heading 210, declare Mayday. And then I would accelerate at 2,300 feet altitude, clean up, and once the aircraft is clean, we'll climb with green dot speed to 4,000 feet. And then we'll do our foredeck, our fact-finding options, risk-benefit stuff to see which airport makes sense to divert to. Any questions to that?
No questions.
Okay. And then the last thing to do is to ask and talk about specials and threats. So what else do you see today as specials and threats?
Specials and threats. What would be an example of special?
Special? New aircraft
Birds?
types. So yeah, well, birds sometimes is a thing. Terrain, I've already briefed. But also inexperience is another thing we would see as a... It sounds horrible to declare that as a threat, right? But let's not call it a threat. Let's call it a special. Okay, so as a special thing. So, you know, and it can happen in real life as well. I could say, hey, you know what? I've just been checked out. So I don't have much flying experience on the routings yet. So so special for me. I'm fairly new on the aircraft, so I appreciate any input, feedback. So that's what I would brief. And also, as a captain, I would also brief that, yeah, we would do our call-outs, very important. Again, today as well for the shared flight. So if you see me, you know, deviate from headings, deviate from altitudes, or, you know, not fly according to the routing, or the speed is too low, too high, I would appreciate you calling that out.
Okay.
Right. And also, yeah, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
Yeah, I have a couple, but
yeah.
I'll save them.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the external power. Park brake is set, shocks are off. And then, so now we're ready for the first checklist, which is the cockpit preparation checklist, please.
Okay. Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Fuel quantity.
We have 5 tons, so we already burned a little bit of fuel here. But fuel is balanced, and yeah, 5 tons balanced.
Seatbelts.
On.
How do you pronounce this? AD,
either AD, yeah, ADIRS or ADIRS, whatever you feel.
Okay. ADIRS.
ADIRS NAF.
And barometer.
Altimeter is 299 inches. And you would say that as well. Yeah.
Cockpit preparation checklist complete?
Yeah,
I actually want to get the ATIS again because it's probably changed since we got it last week.
Yeah. And you would repeat that. You would check your altimeter setting on your side and call that out as well. That's why it says in the bracket says both.
Okay, 29999 on my side.
Yeah, and 800 feet indicated.
Burbank, Glendale, Pasadena Airport. ATIS information India. 1853 Zulu. Windcom. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 26. Dew point 13. Altimeter 29908. Arriving and departing runways 815. Visual approaches in use. Land and hold short operations in effect for non-turbojet aircraft landing runway 15. 4,250 feet available. VFR departures contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information India.
Okay, altimeter is 29908.
2998.
And for this pushback, you can actually request a pushback onto runway 8 if you don't think you'll have enough room.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a good
on the
good
ramp.
tip. Yeah, that's a good tip actually. So I'll delete that with the pushback app here, and then
170 radio to limbo.
yeah. So if you would then contact ground, please, and request pushback onto runway.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
540.
Aviator 25 departure frequency 134.9, arrest feedback back.
134.9er, Aviator 25.
35, correction, 8495 X-ray, taxi to parking via Alpha, remain on this frequency pass for the I-1, have a good day.
Taxi via parking via Alpha 8495 X-ray this frequency. Thank you.
Air 5 Alpha Tango radar contact is lost.
Burbank ground, American 5244, like to push back onto runway 8. Did it work?
I heard you.
American 5244 Burbank ground, are you able to push into and stay within the non-movement area?
Oh yeah, we can do that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe we can. I thought we'd just have extra margin of error, but yeah, we can stay on the ramp here.
Yeah, let's try to stay in the ramp. I don't think I've ever heard anyone request to push onto the runway.
Okay, I've actually been instructed to push onto the runway before, but we'll stay on the ramp and call you when we're ready for taxi, American 5244.
Thanks. I'm going to go look that up.
Okay, cool. No worries,
cockpit.
but you know
Plan
what? It's
Call me
great.
through the menu when you are ready.
So it could have worked. I mean,
Torrance ground, Aviator 25.
okay, so I'm calling
Ground
pushback,
via parking,
and then so we'll do the
ready
before start items. Fuel pumps are on, beacon is on. Your item would be to switch on the transponder to, yeah, just transponder or whatever it needs so that it transmits on pilot. I think here pilot it needs TARA, doesn't it? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Aviator 25.
Yeah, and then we'll read the before start checklist,
On the west
please.
ramp, IFR departure with Oscar.
Parking brake
10597
is
ground runway
on.
20 right at Kilo, taxi via Bravo Kilo.
20 right at Kilo, taxi Bravo Kilo, 10597.
takeoff speeds and thrust.
Yeah, so V1 125, VR 135, V2 137, and Flex 73.
Okay, all doors and hatches are
I
closed.
have
ready to connect.
V1 125, VR 135, V2 137, Flex 73.
Perfect.
Windows
Closed.
closed on my side, and the beacon.
Is on.
Before start checklist complete.
Thank you much. Perfect. All right, so now the pushback truck is connecting. I wasn't paying attention. Did he already say?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
no, still-
aboard
it's still
Captain
lifting the
Blackwell's
aircraft, that says here.
So connected and bypass
Now
and
there
in
we go.
service. Release parking brake.
Right, release parking brake. Here we go.
Thank you.
Brakes released, ready for push.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
SimCaesar again. Giving a step to Nige B. Thank you, SimCaesar again. Oh, you're just so generous. Thank you so much.
Well, a lot of friends coming in today. I'm happy to see all the support.
Nice. When are you streaming next, Caesar?
Tonight on the jump seat, they're doing
Nice.
shared cockpit with Mustafa and
Oh,
the
there we
Zebo.
go. Okay, then I'll jump on your stream as well. So again, guys, make sure check out SimCaesar's channel tonight. So it's jump seat, but jump seat is a different channel you have, correct?
Yeah, and it starts pretty late. It starts at 8 o'clock Pacific time. So that's would be really late for you. So.
Okay, well, we'll see. Maybe it is a bit too late then. But anybody awake and would love to see another shared flight, please check out SimCaesar's channel. And the link to that is the jump seat, or how do you write
Yeah,
that?
yeah, the jump seat. It's 6 o'clock Pacific time. Yeah,
There you go.
sorry.
The jump seat. So on Twitch, make sure to follow that.
Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. All right, so engine start. And we'll start engine 1 first. Starting engine 1.
So do I do anything for engine start? No. Okay.
We'll just monitor the instruments together. So once we do the after start items, then it's your turn to arm the speed brakes and set the flaps. And put the ignition switch back to normal. And I'll do the APU bleed and APU itself. Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
So how much room did we have to the other aircraft there? It's not too bad.
Yeah.
But you're right. If we were on the middle line, then it could have been quite close. Yeah. He's just on Twitch, Sandros. Or are you streaming on YouTube as well, Caesar?
No, not streaming on YouTube.
Yeah, just on Twitch, yeah. Right, you can disconnect. There we go. Good start on 1, starting engine 2.
SoCal departure 10597. SoCal departure Skyhawk 105. Disconnected. A white Aspen has been removed with the hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Do you have any of the sound packs for this plane?
Yeah.
Which one do you have?
Is it?
Do you know?
I would have to check.
Okay, well don't worry about it.
Yeah, I can tell you.
I can get it from you later.
Yeah.
Because the sounds for me are pretty weak.
Yeah, I think it's it could be KOS. Yeah, it is KOSP. A lot of people saying that as well. Okay. That's the way to go.
I trust Fighty. If Fighty says KOSP.
Yeah. I think I have that as well.
For me.
That's the one. Yeah. It's beautiful. Right, there we go. The truck is away, all clear is given. Now just waiting for the engine to start. And there we go. After start items, please.
The anti-ice
remains off.
ECAM status.
So we do the items first before we do the checklist. So it's one of those things where I call out after start items, and then you go the spoilers.
Okay.
So you pull on the there we go, and then on the engine selector, put that back to norm. There, yeah, perfect. And then select the flaps to 2. And then you would make sure the rudder trim is 0. And also you would set the trim as well, up 0.4, but I think I have to do that here. So I'll put the trim up 0.4.
I had trouble getting the trim set.
Yeah, I know, that's why I have to do it. That's pilot fly for some reason. Oh, you mean when you were flying?
When I was flying by myself, and because I kept getting a takeoff config, the trim didn't agree with the MCDU or something.
Did you set the trim here manually so you can scroll wheel it up and down? So
okay. That's exactly. And I couldn't seem to get the takeoff config.
Okay. So on the flight control page, I just checked that it's up 0.4 as well, and so that matches.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe sometimes it resets as well as you're taxing out. I know we'll have a look at that before takeoff again, but it should work.
Okay.
Okay, then we'll do the flight control check. So now I pull back on the stick, and then you would look at the elevators, make sure they're in top position. You would say full up.
Full up.
I'll push them down.
Pull down.
Yeah. And now neutral, you would say neutral.
Neutral.
Now we'll go full left. Have a look. And
full left.
Yeah, that's a maximum they go. I know they're not completely in the box, but that's just.
And full right.
Yeah. And now the rudder.
Neutral. Rudder full left. Full right. Neutral.
Perfect. And then after start checklist, please.
Start checklist. Anti-ice.
Off.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Pitch trim.
Up 0.4.
Rudder trim.
Neutral.
After start checklist complete.
Perfect. Thank you much. All clear was given. Request taxi, please.
Current tower, Aviator 25, holding short of runway 29 right, ready for IFR departure.
Ah. Someone called in just at the right
Aviator
time.
25, towards tower, runway 29 right, cleared for takeoff.
29 right, cleared for takeoff, Aviator 25.
Burbank ground, American 5244, taxi, information India.
American 5244, runway 15, taxi via Alpha, cross runway 8 at Alpha.
15 via Alpha, cross 8 at Alpha, American 5244.
Okay, so exactly as briefed. Left side clear.
Right side clear.
Thank you. Let's go.
I always get so nervous when we're coming up to one of these shared flight things, and then once we get into it and we start doing it, I'm like the happiest person on earth.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
Yeah, it is. It's the thing is though. I mean, like I said, nervous because it's a new thing again, especially with an aircraft you're not really comfortable with, and yeah, procedures.
That's
you're not. Yeah.
Part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, but I honestly, I always find it very exciting as well. So the last one I did with another captain colleague in German language that I did, I have to admit I was a bit nervous as well prior to the flight. But like I said, once you get into it, okay, let's check the runway. I'm gonna put the strobe lights on.
Or clear right.
Clear left. And here we go onto Alpha. So, but then again, it's like initially a bit nervous, but then once we get into the flows, it was cool. It just worked, and so yeah. And now I think we feel the same, right? Now we'll get going, and now we actually do what we love to do, is just to fly. Right.
So the Airbus A320 has no tiller?
It has on the right-hand side.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So
it's hidden under there. Okay.
So actually, the A320 can be taxied by either pilots. So that's quite nice, actually.
Request VFR departure destination one night with the Gulf.
Hello to Mishta.
Aviator 25.
And KOSP apparently is currently on sale in the Org store.
25.
GBZWG, Victorville grounds.
Okay, so what we do now is the cabin is already ready. All you need to do now is set the radar to on, either system 1 or system 2, doesn't matter, and the PWS to auto.
25 is with you at 3,000 feet.
Okay, those are my things to do.
Yeah,
25,
yeah.
SoCal departure, radar contact,
I'm like,
climate maintain 4,000.
Concentrating on taxiing, so that's your item. Weather radar panel.
6 Bravo Zulu, no traffic observed between you and the airport. For cancellation to for airborne or miscarriage on this frequency. Order ground 122.2.
So it says system 1 or 2. Put that
advisory
either side, doesn't matter.
Okay, system. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm lost.
No, so left of the spoiler lever, you see the weather radar panel.
Yes.
And there you have on the bottom it says system 1.
Oh, okay, I see it. Yes.
There it goes. Exactly. And then on the right hand side it says PWS, that's predictive wind shear system. Just put that to auto, please.
Runway 21, taxi via Charlie Alpha.
Exactly, and then you can do the last thing, and that is to press the takeoff config button below the DCAM there. Perfect. So now that's a cue for me. I can see that all the items are done. So now I can call for the taxi checklist.
Okay, the taxi checklist, flight control.
Checked.
Flap setting.
And you would also say checked as well.
Flaps config 2 checked.
No, I mean the flight controls.
Radar.
So hang on. So flight controls normally, and that's something. It's a bit weird because usually in the real aircraft, the first officer also checks the flight controls, not the rudder, but the flight controls. So elevator and ailerons, right? So that's why you have flight controls, and then both say checked.
Okay. Then checked.
Yeah.
Flap setting.
And again, we both have to answer. So I say flaps 2.
Okay. Flaps 2.
Yep.
Radar and predictive wind shear.
On and auto.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
ECAM memo.
Takeoff. No blue.
And so there's a bunch of gray things here. Do I read those?
No, because those would only need to be read if the takeoff no blue is not showing.
25,
or if for some reason the takeoff checklist doesn't show up. But on the ECAM we can see the takeoff checklist is there. So all we need to say is takeoff no blue. And that's why they're kind of grayed out. So now you can just say taxi checklist completed.
Taxi, yes, taxi check was completed.
Cool. All right. So quick recap. So according to the procedure, we'll depart 15 and then we turn about 400 feet. I'm going to start the right-hand turn, heading 210, unless Tower says something else. Climb 4,000, and engine failure will climb straight ahead to about 1,000 feet and then turn right as well on heading 120. 210. And yeah, RTO, if anything goes wrong prior to V1, that means engine thrust loss or aircraft not controllable, ATC call, or any caution or warning coming through the inhibition phase will abort the takeoff. Stop march was about 300 meters. Good. Are you ready?
Ready.
Me too.
All right. I'll call for takeoff clearance.
Yes, please. Groby, hello to you.
Burbank Tower, American 5244, runway 15, ready for departure.
American 5244, Burbank Tower, runway 15, clear for takeoff, wind calm.
15, clear for takeoff, American 5244.
Ah, the lights on, wind calm, cleared for takeoff. All right. So normally you would, over PA, you would say, cabin crew prepare for departure, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You would, well, you already have the TCAS on, and then now you have to select the PAX to off because we calculated that with PAX off for takeoff.
Okay, the PAX to off, and I know where the PAX are.
No, that's a bleed. Sorry, hang on. No, that bleeds.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the PAX, just the PAX.
Sorry.
Otherwise, we're gonna get a horrible ding dong in a minute. There we go. PAX off. Perfect. And now you can read the. It's not terrible. I mean. Apart from you need engine anti-ice maybe, but otherwise it's not really that bad. But it usually gives a chime with the ECAM giving us a caution message.
I don't want a horrible ding dong. That's
yeah. Exactly. All right, and then lineup checklist, please.
Takeoff runway.
Is 15, full length.
15. TCAS.
TARA.
And PAX 1 and 2.
Off.
But lineup checklist complete.
Perfect. All right, so we're cleared for takeoff. Just gonna set the that there. Okay, are you ready?
Ready.
So now another item, you have to go and get the chrono running or the clock running.
Confirm that's 134.9er.
Do I do that on my side?
Yeah, you can do that.
134.9er, Skyhawk 10597.
Okay, takeoff.
25, FedEx SoCal approach 128.1.
So once the thrust is set, you would say thrust set.
128.1, meter 25.
Thrust set, and you put it into the flex side detent?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Here's 100 knots. You would call 100 knots. I would say checked.
SoCal approach, Skyhawk 105.9er 4000.
Air 105.9er 7, SoCal approach LA altimeter 2
999er 10597.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
Approach altimeter 25 at 4,000 feet.
Aviator 25, SoCal approach rider.
Heading select 210, please.
Select 210. Do I push the
knob?
knob?
Pull, just pull.
At departure.
Oh, pull. Oh,
yeah,
sorry. I blew it already.
No worries, all good.
Okay.
And there we go. I can see heading on the mode. Perfect. Right, there we go. We are airborne. And so we're doing.
Did you just give me a handoff and I missed it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
American 5244, contact departure.
Over to departure, American 5244. SoCal departure, American 5244, 2,700, climbing 4,000.
American 5244, SoCal departure, radar contact, climb and maintain 15,000, resume normal speed.
Climb maintain 15,000, normal speed, American 5244. So, do I dial 15,000
Exactly.
here?
because we were still in manual flight. Yeah, so you dialed in 15000.
5244, clear direct tiller, resume departure, climb via SID.
And then normal speed.
Direct tiller, resume departure, climb via SID, American 5244.
Sorry, what was that?
We're direct tiller.
Okay, then direct tiller, please.
And he said climb via SID, so I can put flight level 230 in there, I assume.
230 is checked.
Aviator 25, expect ILS, runway 20 right approach.
Expect ILS, runway 20 right approach, Aviator 25.
So, a lot of things to do, right? So packs have to go on.
Circle approach 686 Bravo Zulu on the ground, Catalina. Would like to cancel flight.
Traffic.
6 Bravo Zulu, I for cancellation, receive pass rise 7 out of 1.
Descend. Thanks, yeah.
Descend.
Okay, I've tell him TCAS RA.
Setting 0, 9 0.
Turn left heading 90, Aviator 25.
American 5244 traffic off the right, that's about a mile. Southbound, typing it out, the kids now 5,500.
Negative contact, we're looking, American 5244.
American 5244, he's overhead now, so no factor.
Roger. That was exciting.
Interesting. All right, so I'm going to put the autopilot back on, auto thrust back on, thrust moves back to the climb watch. Right, so I can see we've got thrust climb, open climb. Altitude 230. We inbound to Tiller, and now flaps 1, please.
At 8,000 to Mojave Airport
speed check,
information Romeo.
10597 after.
Yeah, we'll talk about the TCAS in a minute. Let's fly the aircraft first. So we're accelerating towards S speed.
597 after Santa Monica VOR, flighting 300.
300 after Santa Monica VOR, can I get a level clearance?
0.
Your IFR,
speed
you don't
check,
need it.
flap 0.
Rotor 10597.
So now that we've selected flaps to 0, what you would need to do is disarm the spoilers. And switch off the runway turnoff and the nose lights.
2 miles southeast, outside the out the kids, 3,600. November 235 Tango Echo, Bakersfield ground departure, frequency 118.8, squawk 2413.
Perfect. All right, so there's no after takeoff checklist here. And I'm just making sure that we, because it said climb by the SID, so I have to make sure that we keep
departure frequency 108.8 235 Tango Echo.
I'll clear those restrictions that we have.
Where you parked at?
So Tiller 8,000 above and Oros 9,000 above.
5 Tango, Roger, runway 30,
And
taxi
yeah, but 230 is the clear level. So interesting thing with the TCAS, okay?
5 Tango, good negative, runway 30 right, taxi via Alpha
So
Bravo.
quite typical that
Alpha Bravo 30
on a
right,
departure like that.
American 5244, contact Los Angeles Center 125.27.
125.27, American 5244.
Victorville Tower, Golf Bravo 0 Whiskey Golf at runway 21 at Alpha, ready for departure.
GBZWG Victorville Tower, runway 21, clear for takeoff, wind 15016.
Los Angeles Center, American 5244, 1000, climbing via the Oros 2.
American 5244, Los Angeles Center, roger. Climb and maintain flight level 230.
I maintain flight level 230, American 5244.
Perfect. All right, 230 as cleared. Right. So the thing is, when you get a TCAS, so first a traffic alert, right? Traffic, and that's why I said I have control, just to make sure that both pilots know who's actually going to fly the TCAS recovery or the TCAS procedure. And so now that I've said I have control, it is clear for both, right? Because it could have been maybe at some point you would hand over controls to your to the other pilot. And so just make sure again that or everyone on board knows, or in the cockpit knows who's pilot flying. Then we got I saw the traffic and I was like, wow, that is close. And then sure, we got the resolution advisory, descend, right? So the idea is to, of course, quickly follow the commands given. Now you have to switch off the autopilot, and here I think in the 320 you have also got to switch off the flight directors, if I remember correctly.
November 235 Tango Echo Victor Tower, make right down departure.
But
runway
of course,
right,
you would have to have both pilots
2907.
be aware of that, right? So SimCaesar would have to know the procedure, which you cannot expect someone who's not a professional pilot to necessarily know the procedure for that. But the important thing is, of course, that you saw that red area on the vertical speed band, and there's a green sector fairly far down. And so I had to make sure that I get that vertical speed pointer into that green area, right, to avoid a collision. And so that's what we did. And so that's why we descended. TCAS did its work, so we avoided a potential collision. Now, I don't know, the VFAT traffic, I mean, SimCaesar, you know a lot about the airspace as well, but wouldn't that aircraft have to be in contact with the same controller?
It's inside Class Charlie, so yeah.
Yeah, right.
But the thing is, on PilotEdge, they have these drones, so... But usually air traffic control doesn't alert you to when there's a drone.
Mm.
And I don't think the drones are usually in Class E airspace, so... I was a little surprised. I was really surprised about it, actually.
So, but anyways, nice. I'm surprised as well. The way that the system simulated that TCAS traffic advisory and then the resolution very nicely. So also indicated the correct area we had to fly into. Right, let's set the altimeter, please. So you would, as pilot monitoring, set your altimeter standard, and then also the standby altimeter. So it's just a push button on the right-hand side there. Yep, perfect. So I would say standard set.
235 Tango Echo, contact Baker's to departure. Have a good flight.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, so I would call it altimeters. We would set standards, and then I would say standard set.
Standard set.
Yeah, perfect. Right. Then we'll have the seat belts to order, please. Oh, off actually here. It's not order. It has just an off setting here. And the landing lights off, please.
235 Tango Echo, Bakersfield departure, ready contact.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The landing lights off, please.
Landing lights off.
And then what we do as well on the MCDU, we would clear out any fixed info pages that we have, which we don't today. RATNAV, we would clear out as well if we've set anything manual in the RATNAV page.
133.2 American 5244. Hello.
Hello. Number 105907, contact SoCal approach 134.2.
Los Angeles Center, American 5244, flight level 220, climbing 230.
American 5244, LA Center, climb maintain flight level 360.
Climb maintain flight level 360, American 5244.
Roger, 360. I'm going to put this back to climb, alt blue 360. And then another thing is the secondary flight plan.
Skyhawk 10597.
You would then click again on copy active.
Expect ILS 8 approach, 8 is Juliet.
Should I do that?
Well, I've not changed anything, so there's no need. But normally these are a couple of items that the pilot monitoring would do, right? So I'm not sure if you have that on the document with all the items.
Aviator 25, turn left heading 050 back to the final approach course.
I don't have anything about the secondary flight plan.
Okay, there we go. But if you want, I can give you some more details. I mean, these are like, things that I guess maybe not too many people wouldn't know about unless you have like, the availability of getting some real world documents. But yeah, that's what we do as well, and that's kind of the 10,000 foot flow. In the US, of course, when you have your transition in 18,000 feet, then I would wait with the landing lights until passing 18,000, obviously.
Got it. Yep. See, watching the tutorial, so I found some tutorials on, to get me up to speed, and they were done by real-world Airbus pilots. But even on the tutorials you watch on YouTube, they're flying single pilot.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's still a whole different, not a whole different ball game, but there's still a lot of differences between watching someone do real-world ops as single pilot and then doing them as multi-crew.
Yeah. Right. Yes, and of course, in the real world or in reality, if we have a TCAS RA, or we would say to ATC, it's just TCAS RA. So American 5244 TCAS RA, and that's all we would say, because then the controller knows that we're not adhering to any climb clearance or anything else. We're just simply flying a TCAS RA procedure, whichever the aircraft is giving us. And of course, an ATC then is or should know not to give out any more clearances to the aircraft until we say clear of conflict, to avoid any discussions or any kind of confusing opposite of opposing clearances from ATC, because that caused a air collision, a mid-air collision in Germany, southern Germany, with a DHL plane and a Russian plane, which killed many people. And because both aircraft had their own TCAS RA, however, the Russians, they followed the instruction given by ATC, because they were like thinking, okay, well, if ATC tells us to climb or descend, then we have to do that. And so if they had simply followed their TCAS RA instruction, that collision would have been avoided, right? And so that's why they changed or made clear the procedure is known to the pilots and the air traffic controllers, meaning if an aircraft has a TCAS RA, they call in over the frequency, call sign TCAS RA, and ATC just says Roger. And that's all they would say.
Hey, I will say it's a little muddy on PilotEdge as far as those TCAS alerts are concerned, because there's not much traffic on PilotEdge to begin with, and when I see another aircraft on the on the screen, I always think it's probably a drone or something, so it's in that sim, if you're doing an event or something like that where there is like heavy traffic, then I do expect everybody that shows up on the screen is another pilot flying on the network, but this gets a little muddy on PilotEdge.
Chester 597 to set and maintain 3000.
I'm not even sure, like, Flight says the problem on that sim is, unlike in the real world, the transponders are not talking to each other, so therefore both could get sent. And so I think, if I remember correctly as well, that sim actually, you have to switch off or deactivate automatic TCAS, and I think you don't get told off for flying a TCAS RA on that sim, but I think they would actually just expect to ignore that kind of warning. I mean, you can't collide with other aircraft here in the flight sims anyway, but still, I mean, but if we talk about real world procedures, then yes. The thing is, in real world, in reality, TCAS RAs is absolutely mandatory reporting, meaning me as a captain, I would have to file a report with the authorities. I would have to tell ATC that I'm going to file a report. Then ATC would normally also need to save the recordings.
Chester 597, 6 miles from Buddy, maintain
to see what exactly happened, why there was a TCAS resolution. Okay, so Adrian, nice. Thanks for the feedback. So Adrian says for that sim controlling, we do get taught how to handle this, but it's quite rare, of course. Yeah, yeah. I've done TCAS RA on VATSIM, I know, and it was not an issue, but yeah, MAN, that's correct. But I think I agree with Fighty that here the sims very likely those transponders don't talk to each other. So then it could be that both get a descent clearance or climber RA or whatever.
I'm going to step away for 1 minute.
Yeah, sure.
Black box and your radios.
Yeah, my radios.
Chester 597, contact Burbank Town 118.7.
You shouldn't see drones. Well, I mean, yeah, but I think drones. So Fishcop, I don't think it's drones per se, like military drones. I think on VATSIM it's just simulated VFR traffic. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that's why it does show up on our TCAS. Right, here's 1,000 feet to go. What's NPC? Right, Mach vertical speed.
American 5244, contact Oakland Center 127.45. Have a nice flight.
127.45. Have a great day, American 5244. Now I don't even know if that way. SimCaesar, just in case, are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
10597, Burbank Tower, runway 8.
I'm not sure if I actually set my push to talk to transmit on one. We got 12745.
American 50.
Oh, there we go. So can you answer that, please? 12745.
12745. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is Los Angeles Center.
Yeah.
Los Angeles Center, American 5244, flight level 360.
American 5044, Roger. I just didn't get a read back. 127.45 for Oakland Center. See you later.
Oh, okay. Thanks for everything. 12745, American 5244.
You're welcome. Take care.
Yeah. Right, because that's the thing. I
Okay.
didn't, because I knew you were doing the radios, right? So then when you stepped away, I thought, oh, have I set my push to talk correctly here? And of course I haven't. So I couldn't do the read back.
I should have checked as to where we were going to hit Oakland Center and.
Yeah, no worries. Next time I'll check the push to talk. But yeah,
away.
so 12745 is set on VHF1.
Okay. Oakland Center, hello, American 5244, flight level 360.
American 5244, Oakland Center, Roger.
Perfect, thank you. Yeah, we're just discussing when you stepped away, why a drone would have a TCAS and why we get resolution advisories for them, right? But they say, well, on VATSIM, they're not military drones, I think, right? They're like, Command Regular says they're non-playable characters, i.e. it's like simulated VFR traffic, isn't it?
On PilotEdge, it's both. They put a lot of military, but the militaries are usually like running military routes, or they're not inside controlled airspace, they're. You can sometimes see them, like a couple of them in formation. They also put drones like at smaller airports, uncontrolled fields. That just do pattern work. So I was really surprised that we got a TCAS there, and I don't think that was a drone actually. So, I'm a little surprised that that wasn't. I'm just surprised.
Yeah, because he did say VFR traffic, but it seems like he must have. I don't know if that was just popped in suddenly, because obviously he wouldn't have given us direct to the waypoint if there was a VFR traffic in our way. So. I guess he was just as surprised that suddenly that VFR traffic appeared.
Yeah, I maybe we weren't in the Class C at that point. I would have to go check.
Yeah, but no worries. Yeah, no worries. Cool. Okay, so I can see the top of the sun coming up already. So could you please fetch the ATIS quickly from Sacramento, please?
We'll get it. Get that going here.
Sacramento International Airport. ATIS information with you. 1953 Zulu. Wind 170 at 8. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 30. Dew point 12. Altimeter 2986. Arriving and departing runways 17 left, 17 right. Visual approaches in use. VFR departures contact clearance.
American 5244 to send me to theater for arrival cancel. Altimeter 2986. South.
Send me to the Center for American 5244.
Right, descend by the Center for is understood. Okay, I'll check the chart in a minute. So 2986 I heard, okay.
ATIS information with you. 1953 Zulu. Wind 1.
Alrighty. Yeah, 2986 and they're landing south, so.
Yeah, as expected.
And we got the send via the Center 4.
Yeah, and I'll just check the lowest altitude. So it says Amarder, and then we got Nugget, we got Channel, and then we got Over Me at 4,000. So that's the lowest we're going to get. So 4,000 is what I'm going to put in.
Okay, I got a couple questions here while we're in cruise.
Yeah.
So you just leave the throttles in the climb detent for the entire flight.
I know it's weird, but that's just the way it is. Yeah,
okay. All right.
So
my other question is, oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So on takeoff, if you have, a flex temperature that you've calculated, you put the thrust levers into that flex MCT notch for takeoff, and then once you have on the FMA that blinking with climb, then you would put the thrust levers into the climb notch. And exactly that, the rest of the flight, they remain in the climb. And even if you do a procedure where you have the thrust automatic until touchdown, again, those thrust levers will stay in the climb notch.
Okay. And then the other thing is on the MCU, what's the difference between heading vertical speed and track FPA?
Yeah. So one of the things that takes the longest time to understand is, of course, that you can push and pull those buttons, right? So we talked about this already, so you probably know this already, but for those that maybe not know, so think of it this way. So the speed, the heading, the altitude are buttons you can push and pull. Oh yeah, you're right. No, it should be fine now with the buffering MC. And for the vertical speed, you can only pull the knob. You can't push the knob. Sorry, you can push to level off, but that's a different feature. So if you want to give control to the aircraft management, you push on those buttons, and then you get these circles, right? And the numbers they get replaced by dashes. Okay. So that's how you know who's actually flying the aircraft according to which path or which speed and which heading, right? Now, when you pull, you take away the control from the flight management system. So you then have to dial in the speed, the heading, whatever you've pulled, okay, or the altitude. And so, so when you do that, that's explained that, push and pull, so managed or selected. So if you pull, it's selected because you're selecting the speed.
112 cross Reberg.
If you push,
level 310.
Managed because the speed and the heading, etc., is managed by the FMS. So now the track FPA is the following. If you look on your heading, actually let's put it this way. Now we're on nav mode, so you can't see it. But if I push that button, you will see the flight director change now. Because it's changed the flight path vector symbology on the primary flight display. Right? And it's showing you that flight path vector in a symbol, so little aircraft, which is on the horizon because we're doing level flight. If we start descending, that little aircraft then will go below the horizon. And the other symbols are for the director. That's the flight path director indications. But what it does is if you select track flight path angle, it means you're not flying heading anymore. You're actually flying a certain track over the ground. So the aircraft will not correct for wind. Well, actually, this way, the aircraft corrects for wind influence. So while you fly heading, it will just simply fly the heading as instructed. And if you press for track, then you select the track you want to fly, and the aircraft will maintain exactly that track. And even if the wind changes, it will then correct the heading itself to maintain that commanded track. And the same for vertical speed. It means now selecting a vertical speed like now I'm doing now, right? So now we're maintaining a vertical speed of minus 1,000 feet per minute. If I change that to flight path angle, it's now calculating that equivalent, which gives us minus 1.5 degrees. So it's now flying an angle. And the cool thing is, it doesn't matter if you change speed or not. Sorry, if you change speed, it will calculate again to maintain that flight path angle, while vertical speed is just maintained as a value, right? So if you change the speed, it will have to pitch up or down depending on which way you go to maintain that 1,000 feet per minute. Does that answer the question, or have I confused you completely now?
No, it answers it 100%. So normally, would you just leave it in heading vertical speed?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's
unless you have a situation,
Exactly. So the only real use of that is if you fly a non-precision approach, where you have to maintain a certain flight path angle on final, and a certain track. Then this function becomes useful.
And I know on certain stars, they want you to at the end they want you to fly a track. Not a heading, so but I mean if you were in managed mode, that'd be doing that anyway, but
yeah, exactly. So but like I said, it just stays there in heading vertical speed mode unless you see need to change that because you think it's going to help you with the approach later on.
Okay, I understand.
Right, yeah, sorry, there was comments. There was just some buffering, guys. If you reload the browser, you should be fine. I've dropped 180 frames at some point, but it should be running nicely. It's just like a split seconds where it dropped some frames, and then it should be back. I mean, it says if... So, yeah, pull, like I said, you pull the knobs, then you take control. So you dictate heading, speed, etc. And if you push, you give control to the flight management computer. That's the bridge that I use it from. Yeah. Okay, so we got the ATIS. I'm going to enter the values into the MCDU now. So 29.86. Temperature was 30, and the wind is 180 at 8 roundabout. So southerly winds. And then I look at the approach plate. So we're going to request that ANAF Zulu 17 right approach. And we're going to go with the 0.3 accuracy because the other ones are a lot lower. But to be honest, we'll go with the RMP 0.3 because that's the normal accuracy that we need for RMP approaches. So I get a minimum of 390 feet. So I'm going to put 390 on the Barrow for the approach. Since also we have a, well, it's a 3-degree profile, but it's a tight turn. So I'm going to let the aircraft fly this with config full. I just feel it's a bit more stable in the approach. So that's what we're going to plan. Now, quickly, I need to check the limitations here on the arrival. So, for the arrival that we just received, we have Kaela 280 above, Suter between 260 to 240, and speed 280 knots. Then Fools level 210 exactly at. Then we have Gold 190 below. That's all correct. Then Wraps 17,000 below. Correct. Is it how do you pronounce? Is it Pinnin or how would you pronounce that waypoint?
Yeah, I don't know. So Pinnin sounds like what I would do.
Okay, between 16 and 12 and speed to 80. That's correct. Then we have Chanel. Oh, sorry. No, the next one would be disregard. The next one would be
Sluick.
And then yeah, Sluick. Sorry, no restriction at Sluick, but Amader or Amader. What? How do you pronounce that? It's just
Amader, I guess.
Amader. Okay, 9,000 exactly correct. And then we've got Nugget. That's an easy one. Nugget at between 9 and 7. And then Chanel 5 above, which we have as well. And then comes the tricky part, and that is the final descent later on there. It has a little bit of a wonky line in there. So Ovomi at 4,210 knots, correctly set. And then after Ovomi, it's an overfly waypoint. It says for the approach, Fiken. How do you pronounce that? Fiken? I'm not sure.
Let's say Fikan.
Yeah, Fikan. Okay, we've got to be careful with the pronunciation. Could mean something disgusting in German, so we gotta be careful with that.
Okay, sorry. I can't be held responsible.
No,
for saying
you actually
a bad word in German.
You pronounced that you pronounced that correctly, so you were fine with that. I just have to be careful with that pronunciation. And then it's right Solov overfly, and Solov is the final approach point. And that's the important part. So 1100 we have to check. It's a 3-mile distance to the missed approach point, which is the runway 17 right. So 3 miles is correct.
5244, contact NorCal approach 120.95.
120.95, American 5244. Okay. Then 120.95.
Yeah, funny.
Okay, this is Sutter 4. NorCal approach, hello, American 52, 44, flight level 235, descending on the Sutter 4.
Ferry 5244, NorCal approach, Whiskey, current altimeter 2986.
Yeah, we have information, Whiskey, and we'd like to get the RNAV Zulu runway 17 right from Abomi, American 5244.
Ferry 5244, Rod, expect that.
Thank you very much. Pronunciation is Pinyun, like pinion for the
Level 112, thanks.
For that waypoint. Yeah, there we go. PNNEN is Pinion or Pinion. Wrong stuff. Thank you much. Yeah, I said Fiken. We said we're going to call that Fiken, okay? Just avoid some bad language. So then, in case of missed approach, runway 17 right, it's pretty much 500 feet, and then the climbing right turn to 2,000 feet, direct to Grime or Grimmy or Grime, whatever you want to call that. And we're level of 2,000. It's a lower level of altitude, and the runway elevation is 27 to 25 feet for the touchdown. So very low altitude. That's fine. Good. Speed, and we're descending now. So next waypoint, Gold below 190. Okay, cool. Let's calculate the landing performance quickly. So 17 right with the data that we have. Runway dry, and the landing weight will be about 65-ish. Let's calculate 65 tons. Config full, air conditioning on. I'm going to add 5 knots on the V approach. Brake.
Avella 112, contact Los Angeles Center 13.
Brake low is fine, yeah. And reverse on. Yeah, come on, regular stay on. And once you're ready, let me know.
Ready?
Okay, so I get a with config full a required landing distance of 1,313, and so predicted Pret land, that means predicted landing distance is 1,943. So both are well within margins, about 700 meter margin. Do you have somewhat similar as a result?
I have required 1313 meters and preferred landing distance 1943.
Number 3 Echo Bravo, contact
Perfect.
Seattle Center,
So that's what we'll do. So we'll take brake low. And now, once we get below 18,000 and once we have set the altimeters, we're going to go for the next checklist. But in the meantime, let me go and ask for a briefing, please. And it's the same thing. It's a interactive briefing, meaning we're both involved. So pilot monitoring actually starts the briefing.
All right. We the arrival transition designator is that's Obomi. Is that right?
Yep.
And then the MSA or planned out.
November 373 Echo Bravo, Seattle Center, roger.
See, on the FAA charts, it doesn't really have the same information.
But it's 4,300 is the MSA.
Okay. Alrighty. Is that the altimeter?
Yeah, I didn't want to disturb you there, but we can quickly set the altimeters. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And our star is the Sutter 4, which we're already on. So we have, we're going to be going to run 17 right. We have 8,598 feet of runway. And our approach minimum is 275.
Nope. No. It's the 0.3 RMP value. Yeah.
Okay. Right. I knew that. 385 feet.
Yeah, so I rounded up to the next 10 feet always, according to my SOP, so 390 feet is the minimum that I'm planning in. Yeah.
Okay. Go around trajectory. What does it mean by a trajectory?
Yeah, just what it says on the text there. It says climb to 5 feet, then climbing right, turn 2,000 feet direct.
Okay.
Rhyme and hold, that's what you would read.
Okay, so like the go-around procedure.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, then direct, prime, and hold. Okay. Extra fuel and time. Okay, I think I need your help on this one again.
Yeah, so if you look at the flight plan, what I do is I look at the value that we have written next to the arrival there. So it says for Sacramento, we need 2,000 kilograms.
American 5244, contact NorCal approach 127.4.
127.4, American 5244. NorCal approach, American 5244, 14,000, descending on the Sutter 4.
American 5244, NorCal approach, roger, altimeter 2986.
2986, American 5244.
Excellent. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so the flight plan says we need, at the missed approach point, we need 2,000 kilograms to safely divert to Oakland. So if I then go to my flight plan page on the MCDU, it tells me that it calculates a arrival fuel of 2.8 tons at the runway. Right, so we have 800 kilograms more than required. And 800 kilograms is about 25 minutes in the Neo. Okay, so the extra time is, we could say 800 kilograms extra fuel, which is 25 minutes. Good.
Okay.
Thank you. Now for me, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to fly this, of course, fully managed. So it's a non-precision approach. We're going to fly it nevertheless fully managed in approach mode with final approach. Landing flap setting is config full. We have a stop margin of 680 meters. Dry runway. I'll use probably idle reverse if I can. Auto brake is low. And the planned runway exit. So the planned runway exit, probably Alpha 11 to the left. And then taxi in. I don't see any hotspots for taxi into the terminal. Anything special? Do you have anything special for the arrival? Any threats you see?
I do not. I'm not sure where American parks at Sacramento.
We'll just take something, Concourse B or something.
Okay.
Okay. Then seatbelts on, please. Landing lights on, please. And then I would like to have the approach checklist.
Barometer.
We say, does it say barometer? Oh yeah, baro ref. Okay.
Baro ref.
Yeah, baro ref. Okay, baro ref is 2986 inches.
2986 inches. Oh. Set the standby. Sorry. Oh, it's already set. Seatbelts.
On.
Minimum.
Baro 390 feet.
Auto brake.
Low.
Engine mode select.
Normal.
Approach check was complete.
Thank you. Good. Right. So we've got so the east side of Concourse Alpha. Someone is saying. Andre is saying. So we're parking east side Alpha. Okay. So it's a bit of a taxi in. Okay. Well, that's fine. We'll take Alpha. Which means parking spot. Let me have a look. Airport. Oh, that's good. Disregard. How about we'll take Alpha 13 for parking. Good. Okay, so it's leveling off 9,000 at the moment. Sorry. Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Good. So. Now it's kind of because we had to be at 9,000 at Amador. So next is then Nugget between 9 and 7. So that's why it's leveling off at the moment. And here we can see the next descent is about 8-9 miles prior to Nugget. Let me just specify a little bit how I'm going to fly this with regards to energy management. So the final turn is at low levels, right? So I'm at FICAN again. So FICAN we're going to be calculated at 3,500 feet. So there's no need to have gear down yet at there. But somewhere in that turn towards Zoloff, we'll throw the gear. So I'm going to plan flap 2 at FICAN. And then somewhere in that base turn, we'll get the gear, get the flaps, and then be stable latest at Zoloff. So stable meaning speed, 1,100 feet, the final configuration set. And then strictly speaking, with the tower, we have to confirm the QNH, or the altimeter setting. Because there were incidents where people had the wrong altimeter setting on a non-precision approach. Air France, no, not Air France, but that was
American Navy 244 and open meet. Cleared to the RNAV Zulu, runway 17 right approach.
At the Vomi, cleared RNAV Zulu 17 right approach.
Okay, thank you. So they had, it was in Paris, Charles de Gaulle, but it wasn't Air France, it was some other airline. They descended at too early on a wrong altimeter setting and almost crashed into the ground ahead of the runway because of that. And they said instead of 1010, they said QNH 1000 or something, or the other way around. And so they had the wrong altimeter readout. So that's why the tower should be asked again to confirm the latest QNH value. So waiting for the descent. Thrust idle. And we have descent out magenta 7000 currently. Those squeaking noises, lol.
It is a little bit reassuring in the Boeings to watch the throttles moving, so you like have a visual clue that the engines are actually, moving besides, displays.
I know. And but the thing is, you get used to it. It's just one of those things. Also, one thing,
Sacramento Tower.
I had issues at the beginning when I was transferring to the Airbus. The fact that I can't see the inputs from the first officer. So I can't see what he's doing with the side stick. So they're not linked. Weird enough, I think the A320, who has that aircraft has side stick as well, I think those are actually linked.
Negative. I thought I was doing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they are linked.
Sacramento Control Tower 1257.
Alrighty,
if you want to use the class Charlie airspace, you contact the NorCal approach.
So Ovomi is mandatory 4000. And we can see that descent profile here. Has that as well. The only thing I don't like is that little weird curve it's flying towards Flycom, but we'll see.
500 requesting transition through the Charlie direct to the McClellan VOR.
Number 2423 uniform north
Yeah,
approach, maintain VFR
I don't know what
Charlie
that's,
for
I see what you're saying, I don't know what that is.
257.
Yeah, but here we have the airport inside. Now we're not going to call it inside because I want to fly the RMP approach, obviously. So the Air France of that aircraft was set to 1011 instead of correct would have been 1001. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, right? I mean, what I could try is if I also put FICAN as overfly.
2423 uniform is radar contact 13 miles north of the Sacramento Capital Airport.
Which it shouldn't be, but
what was your type of aircraft taken out?
Yeah, still doesn't do it.
That's Skyhawk 172.
Usually it will be because of speed issues.
And you're just going to the VOR, or are you landing?
I mean, 210 knots isn't that fast.
I'm just looking to transition through the Charlie, transitioning to the VOR, the McClellan VOR.
23 uniform roger, resume navigation at appropriate VFR.
Yeah, but Andrea, I don't see the point right now if you have a tight turn to the final to get a visual approach. So we might as well just stay IFR and fly the approach accordingly.
I think this approach is fun. This is why I suggested we do Sacramento with this specific approach.
Perfect. Yeah.
It's really a tight RNP approach.
Yeah. Yeah, I always love these approaches, so I'm always happy when someone knows some specifics. I mean, I can in Europe, I can tell you lots of airports that have this lovely special approaches. But I appreciate then you making the route suggestion, saying, "Hey, this could be interesting."
Yeah, I don't usually see them with turns this tight and that this close to the airport. You know, you usually have a little more breathing room, but.
Yep, speed out star. It's a visual approach chart on Arno. Well, I don't know. It's so the thing is, so Andre, really, what does it say if they give you a visual approach? You're still under IFR rules. It's just that that you are then being responsible for keeping visual separation from other aircraft. So it kind of alleviates or helps the controller to you know, with regards to official IFR separation minimas, right? Ajaxion, who knows? Yeah, maybe SimCaesar's up for that at some point. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly why they should have asked again. Oh, look at that! Now it's straightened it out. Okay, interesting. So it's not going to fly that curve. Right, flaps. Flaps 1, please.
Speed check flaps 1.
We have descent out blue, 3,200. Although I'm going to put the Zoloff now at no, 3,000. No, it's a hard minimum there. 2 FICAM. Okay, and then we'll put 1,100 later. That's fine. So I'm going to put a bit of speed brakes here to slow down the aircraft. Now I'm going to put it 1,100. So we have descent out blue, 1,100. Gear down.
Down.
Yeah, I need a bit more drag because it's not really slowing down. We're pretty heavy still and got a bit of tailwind, so we've got to do some magic to help with that. Flaps 2.
Speed check, flaps 2.
So now we should be okay. There we go. So look out the right-hand side window. Now,
2544, contact Capital Tower 125.7.
We're at tower 5244.
So that's a nice continuous turn.
Capital Tower, American 5244, RNAV runway 17 right, and can we have the altimeter setting, please?
American 5244, Capital Tower, altimeter 2986, runway 17 right, clear to land, wind 160
29 right, or correction, 17 right, clear to land, American 5244.
Okay, 2986 confirmed. Thank you much for that. And flaps 3.
Okay, speed check, flaps 3.
Yeah, that's slowing us down nicely. So around the corner we come. And flaps full.
November 373 Echo Bravo at high vet, clear to RNAV Yankee runway 32 approach.
Flaps full. Didn't we say flaps?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. That was a test. No, it was. No, we did say flaps full. No, that's good. Yeah, that was all good.
Did? Okay.
Yeah, we did say flaps full. Yeah, right. you almost got me there. Right, and then let's do the landing checklist, please.
Landing checklist, ECAM memo.
Is landing no blue. Good. So now we're inbound to Zoloff. I'm going to press the approach button. Okay, so yeah, it's giving me F glide slope and F lock star. It's kind of for the FLS system. I should have deactivated that. Let's just see if I can do that here right now. Probably have to do that somewhere else. Okay, anyways, I can see the runway, menu flight, menu thrust. Flight directors off, please. Bird on. Okay, the speeds.
Flight directors off.
Yeah.
And what was the other instruction?
Yeah, heading track, please. Yeah.
Track.
Perfect. And now I can see now the flight path vector to help me with the aircraft. So we're just a little bit high initially. So I've got to go do some magic. So 1,000 feet per minute is the maximum descent rate I'm allowed to do. Let's see if we make it, otherwise we've breached the missed approach.
I told you this one was tight.
Yeah.
100 above.
So let's see.
Minimum.
Continue. So 1,000 feet per minute, maximum rate of descent. No, we should be right. 1 red, 3 white. Nice. Greased it.
That's how pros do it. And the reversers are engaged.
Yeah, I think it's speed brakes. No, how was it? Because spoilers and reverser green, I think it's something like that. All right, we'll go manual brakes, and they'll take the next to the left.
Hold off exactly where you plan to.
Alpha 11, yeah, nice. Exactly.
American 5244 will be Alpha, then Bravo 2 up into the terminals. Monitor ground point 8, we'll see you next time. Pardon me, it'll be monitor ground point 7, we'll see you next time.
Alpha, Bravo 2 into the terminals, and monitor ground. And thanks for everything, American 5244.
So it's the first one left, then it's a bit to the right, Bravo 2 to the terminals.
Okay. Alpha, yeah, left and then right.
Perfect, thank you. So this is also really helpful when you're doing shared flight.
Bravo, contact count, gate approach 124.3.
Because, you know, we all know single pilot taxiing and getting clearances, taxi clearances, and finding your way around the airport is so difficult sometimes. Yeah, in the US, they only tell you 0.7 because all ground frequencies are always 1-to-1.
Approach, Blanca 37, Triaca
So,
Bravo, 10,400
yeah,
descending.
it's always 1-to-1. So it's just a decimal they tell you. Good, then after landing, item space. So what you would do is check the spoilers are stowed. You would put the flaps up.
I understand you're cleared for the RNAV Yankee 32 approach, correct?
You would start the APU.
32 approach, cleared from high vig, which was behind me.
Right, just make sure you check in that you're on the approach, so we're good to go.
Then strobes I'll do myself. Line lights I'll do myself.
Follow the approach straight into wait sets. I have custom weather. Straight Bravo.
And you would switch the radar off, PWS back to off.
For 2-3 uniform, what's your plan after the VR?
I just exited the Charlie and head south. Uniform.
Okay, and what else? Let's see. Yeah, so after landing checklist, please.
Radar and predicted wind shear.
Yeah, predicted is off.
After landing check is complete.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm not sure. Sometimes, do you notice that as well? Sometimes I think X-plane lighting is great. Today I have a feeling it's just so bright again.
Things changed in the last update that came out, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And so they tweaked a lot of the lighting. So it definitely gets like this bright kind of haze, you know, when the sun is shining.
Yeah. I mean, there's a way you can put the sunglasses on to make it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Then the cockpit gets pretty dark. So it's a bit weird. And at some point, especially when it's not so bright, or maybe if it's a bit cloudy, then I think it's overall better. But here I feel it's really overdone. But anyways, yeah. So for the approach, so the reason why I'm saying it's so bright is because I had difficulties seeing the poppies. And so I just checked the distance of the runway, and I knew we were a bit higher there in the approach. But yeah, below 1,000 feet height, so above the terrain, you can do descent rate up to 1,000 feet per minute. So that way we did manage to get Ah, okay. Gustavo says. So the author of the add-on needs to adjust the textures for the new light model. Ah, okay, cool. Thanks for the information.
I'm still using my old ortho that I made for X-Plane 11.
Yeah. So maybe that looks a bit better than. So I use some map enhancements. Yeah, Caesar, any questions?
When can we do this again?
Whenever you like. I'm always up for
Okay.
shared flights.
Oh, I appreciate that. No, this was exciting. This was a lot of fun. I was worried I'd be a little bit too lost, but I feel like I did okay.
Yeah, you did fine. The thing is, I mean, the Airbus, I think it's not so much. Although, I mean, the autothrust system, the autopilot system has its quirks, right? You just need to get your head around it. But often it's just the different wordings that's so complicated sometimes with the Airbus. And then, of course, shared flight, trying to figure out, who's doing what. But there as well, I mean, trying to think back, but there wasn't much going wrong. So, oops, Atlanta's restarting. Nice. Right, let's turn into Alpha 17 here. Nice gate. Yeah, that's true. If you start with Airbus procedures, it's normal, and then Boeing is like, "What the hell is going on here?" Right. So yeah, I know what you mean, but yeah, it's always getting used to things, right? But also in principle, shared flight with if you're flying manual, then pilot monitoring has to set things in the MCDU, FMS, or the autopilot panel. And if the autopilot is switched on, then anything to do with the flight path is done by the pilot flying. So any manipulation of the autopilot panel or the FMS is done by the pilot flying. So that. It doesn't matter which aircraft you're flying, right? That's always the same, really.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, my wife's wants to say good night. Hold on. Okay, so now we've parked. One thing that the pilot monitoring, so first officer, would do is switch on the APU bleed. Yeah, we would normally call out to the cabin crew, all doors in park. I would switch off the engines. And then you have a lot of things to do. You have to go over panel, beacon off. Oh, actually, so you do beacon off. Seatbelts off. You would do the fuel pumps off. The transponder off. And then we'll read the parking checklist.
Parking brake or chocks.
Parking brake set.
Engines
off.
Wing lights
off.
Fuel pumps
off.
Parking checklist complete.
Thank you very much. There we go. That's it. It doesn't hurt that much, does it? Flying the Airbus.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. And I mean, the stuff that I feel weakest on is the stuff that's not Airbus specific. It's the figuring out how much fuel you've got remaining at your destination, and all the little minutia of the weights and all that stuff in the MCDU. And I, as an airline pilot hobbyist, that's stuff I tend to kind of skip,
Yeah. Sure.
So, but I'm gonna get better at it because this is so much fun. Really, if you could see me right now, I got a smile on my huge smile.
Nice. The thing is, That was the first flight we did together, right? So it's all about getting practice. So we practice, and then things become just more and more fluid. And if you fly together with someone very often, and if you reach the point where I wouldn't say things get boring, but things get very kind of routine, then it's time to switch up a little bit and then do something. Let me just check something real quickly. Hold on. So it's a cool feature that you can actually do here. Let me see if I've set that command. So yeah. So for example, what I could do now is add a failure, right? So what I could do is, for example, let's have a look. Let's try that. So that should come up on your... Did you see that? Or did you hear the warning?
I didn't. Nothing happened on my side. I see it on your on the stream, but nothing happened on for me.
Okay. It should, because normally that button...
Like all your displays are blank and all my displays, nothing changed for me.
Okay. Let's see, because normally I can select that with the Z key, and then you would see that as well. Let me have a look. Let's try something else. Let me start up the aircraft. Because then you could spice things up and implement a failure without telling the other one, and then surprising the other pilot. You could be mean, not tell that person prior. But you could be nice and say, or you could talk about this prior, and then. Right, let me have a look at DC Bus Essential. Now, so I'm just waiting until the aircraft is powered up. Do you want to try that again now? That was AIMA shutdown. So that's a DC Essential.
Oh, now something happened.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure, because the failures that I've selected isn't coming on. I'm not sure. Hey Ted, hello. Mark, am I doing something wrong? Isn't that what we normally would do? Is select that, and then if I press that key that I have set it for, it should do it, right? I'll try again. But anyways, yeah, so you can surprise the other pilot by getting some failures. Oh, there we go. So let's see. Does that work on your side as well now? DC Essential, if you look on the lower ECAM. There's a
I have...
It says...
yeah, what?
DC Essential is now an amber on the lower display.
No, mine's still green.
That is weird. Yeah, I'll have to try that. And maybe I have to try with Mark again. Mark loves these failures. So, yeah, but as I say, if things get more routine, and if you think at some point, we would like to spice things up, well, yeah, you can do some failure scenarios and see how you would then work together as a team, right? And go and solve these somewhat sometimes complicated procedures. Thoughts on
I would like to try some airline ops in Europe, which I have never done. My only VATSIM Europe experience is flying general aviation, and always with Quas. You know Quas?
I love him. Great guy.
Yeah, and so he will jump on London control in off hours, and he'll help me out, and he'll give me a flight plan, and done that a dozen times, and so I'm okay with that. But I've never done any airline ops in Europe, and that's something I've always wanted to do. So I'm kind of thinking next time we do this, that would I feel like a fish out of water.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
You would be the perfect person to do it with. So
absolutely. So if you know, and you could choose if you want to be pilot flying or pilot monitoring. You choose. But I can tell you all about the European procedures. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, poor Fighty has invited me many times, and I've been too chicken. So
yeah. I know it's because feeling is different. I mean, it is different in some parts, but not that much. But I understand, that kind of feeling that if you fly together with someone who knows the procedures there, it just makes you feel more comfortable. And we have so many beautiful airports, as you know, in Europe as well. With interesting approaches. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, well, next time we'll do that. Normal A2B flight, you can choose the routing, or ask me if there's anything that would give you a nice approach. Or we can even have a look if there's like a VATSIM event going on with 2 airports or something. Whatever, you choose. That's fine.
Okay, that I can't wait.
So hello to Ted Barker, hello sir, and thoughts on the FS Labs Neo, rate 1 out of 10. I would say probably somewhere in the region of 7 to 8, the same as I would rank Phoenix. So I like it. Yeah, Europe is great for short haul, I agree. Yeah. So first of all, SimCaesar, thank you so much for your kindness again, gifting all those subs to these lovely people.
Thank you for your patience and your guidance and everything else, not just for me, but for everybody that watches your streams. And this is always amazing. I'm always nervous beforehand, but then as soon as we line up on the runway, it's, oh man, this is flight simming doesn't get any better than this. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, even an aircraft you're not so comfortable with, so yeah, GG's on that. Yeah, my pleasure. I love doing these shared flights. Yeah, it's true. Mark says the subs stop me from shouting. So like bribery. No, oh good. I only shout with Mark because Mark Mark is a person who needs to be shouted at sometimes. Well, no, I don't. Did I shout on? Well, maybe I once. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, great. So yeah, Caesar, anytime, all right? Hit me up and we'll do another flight for sure. And again, if you want to see Caesar today, he's doing another shared flight with Mustafa, another fellow flight sim enthusiast. Does he have a streaming channel as well, Mustafa?
Yeah, he does. It's I could type it in chat if
that's
okay.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. Peter, thank you.
I put a link to both of them. The first one is Mustafa's channel, and he's, I think, one of the great flight sim streamers on Twitch. He's very competent. He's not a real-world pilot, but he's very competent and really fantastic guy, funny guy. And then I put a link to the jump seat where Mustafa and I do every Monday night, 6 o'clock Pacific time. We do shared cockpit. So.
Yeah, so I have to check.
Always in the Zebo. Yeah. I'm gonna try to talk Moose into doing. I don't know if he owns the Toliss or not, but maybe that's in the future at some point.
Yeah, why not, right? I mean, let me just have a look at what we have now Pacific time at the moment for me. So it's 14:06. So in 4 hours you are.
4 hours from now.
That's 3 in the morning. I would have loved to.
I know.
Yeah, but we have people from all over the world watching. So, guys, if you're interested, again, please join either the jump seat or Mustafa, or better, even both of those streams later than today. Bob, thanks so much as well. And Scumbag Skillet's asking, I was thinking about to apply for ATC. Any advice on how to get ready? You mean like IRL or VATSIM? I mean, IRL, there are some training programs to prepare for these entry tests, but they're not necessary. So IRL. So normally, the best thing to do is actually talk to people that have gone through that test. So I've never done the ATC test side, so I can't really tell much about it. But again, I have a feeling sometimes people want to prepare to kind of cheat a little bit to get a head start, if you like. But that's not necessary. The simple reason is that, for example, for the pilot tests here in Germany at least, if you do preparations, they will notice because of your results. And they will also ask you, latest in the interview, they will ask you if you've done any seminars or any, how you prepared. And then you better answer honestly, because that could kill your entry test if you lie. They would know. So again, it's not necessary to do anything in that regard. To pay for any courses or seminars to get in. Otherwise, just what I mean. On their website, normally they will give us some infos, what kind of skills or what things they will look for, and then you could practice that a little bit. But again, I don't think you need to have any kind of pay for any preparations seminars in that regard. MAN, thank you as well to you. Take care. See you soon. Yes, come back, and I wish you all the best. And I think ATC is always a great profession to get into. So yeah, good luck with that. Absolutely. Thank you, Nate, as well. Greetings again to you. Thank you so much, Nate. Nice. Okay, so SimCaesar. Until next time, I thank you so much for flying along with me. And
the pleasure's all mine. Thank you for everything, Black Box.
My pleasure as well. And then we will see each other very soon again. I'm sure we'll do another shared flight in the near future. Everyone, thank you so much for your support as always. And I'll be back on Wednesday at 1700 UTC for the next stream. So it's not long to go until we see each other again. Take care and good night. Stay safe. Stay well. Good night.